Good evening, everyone. Glad to see we've already got a few people in the chat. Pat Paulson, hello. Shannon Dickinson, hello. And Christian's here. Hey, Christian. Excuse me, I got to adjust my camera. Apparently, I'm too tall for my camera. That's better. Now you can see the vent above my head. I will be joined momentarily by our good friend Cass Nichols, who's having trouble logging into his email. So after a minute or two, he'll join us. I sent out some other invitations for some other folks to join us. So hopefully we will have a whole full cadre of people joining us on the panel tonight. We're having an open discussion. So if there's any particular topics somebody wants to bring up, bring them up. We'll talk about tools, about the auto industry, about the repair industry in general. I think an interesting topic would also be, I think I'm going to make a video on this, about purchasing on Amazon versus other retailers, because there has been a few incidents in the past couple of months where people have been telling me about better pricing on Amazon. And I was reading some stuff on Reddit about people complaining that, I bought it on Amazon, but I didn't get what I paid for. And I said, but you did. And there was some back and forth on that. So I think there's a lot of misunderstandings about how retailers like Amazon work, how it's actually set up, who you're actually buying from and stuff like that. So that might be a good future topic for a regular Sunday morning video that I put out. If anyone has other topic suggestions for stuff you'd like to see me cover in videos, I'd love to know what they are. People like the tool haul videos, certainly, but I'm always looking for some new material. So if there's other things that you want covered, just say so. And I'd love to dive into some other topics or share some knowledge in stuff that I have learned. And it might be fun to do some doing different things too. I see we're joined by James. Good evening, James. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. And Jason Williams wants a tool truck tour. I will do one as soon as I have enough stuff in my truck we're showing you. The truck is real thin right now in inventory because I have, it's kind of a long story. You may have, I don't know if you heard, was it the last live stream we did? I talked a bit about it with my situation with selling disposable gloves. I have a huge disposable glove bill to pay because an arrangement I had for a large customer fell through. So I have to keep my expenditures down in all other areas until I can pay off the bill for the gloves. So once I do that and I'm stocked back up, then I'd be happy to give you a tool truck tour, because right now it looks real thin. And it's a little embarrassing when you try to show off a truck with with bare spots on the shelves. But I have been putting some new and different things on the truck that I have been sharing on my tool haul videos, because I've been buying some more Vim brand tools, and I really like what they've got. I am a fan of them as a company. I like what I know about them, and I'm happy to put some of their stuff on the truck because they have specialty tools that nobody else has, and they develop stuff that's either unique in the market or something that's far and away built so much better. You saw me in I think it was my last tool haul video. It's either the last one or the one that's going up this Sunday. I can't remember what, but there's some improvements they made on some tried and true tools that are worth taking notice of, because they've made some oil filter pliers and some auto adjusting pliers rather heavy duty. And I'm interested to see how well those do in the market. The best seller this week, Jason, has been, I don't know. I haven't looked it up. I could run a report and see. Anecdotally, I would say it's probably been beef jerky. That's usually the number one selling thing on the truck. But tool wise, gloves have been selling, and I've sold a bunch of gloves since January. This year, glove sales have been very good, even though I haven't been able to go full bore with that one big customer I thought was going to buy a bunch of gloves from me. But still, it's been pretty good in glove sales, because I've been offering quantity discounts to some other customers, some larger shops and stuff who have been buying them. So we're doing that. Yeah, a sale is a sale. You're not kidding. And I'm very glad that I put meat snacks on the truck, because for the first maybe a year. I hesitated doing it because I just thought it was a frivolous thing, and then I understood why it was so great. And as a result, we've been putting beef jerky and other meat snacks on the truck for years, and they're always very good sellers. And we buy Jack Link's branded products because for the money, there isn't a better product I have found. They give you excellent quality, really good quantity, and the pricing's tough to beat. We can sell a bag of 3.25-ounce beef jerky for the same price that you can buy it for in a convenience store. And if we can sell it at that price, I'm very happy about that, because I know there's other tool trucks that have to sell a smaller bag for like $10 or $12 even, and that's pretty expensive. So I'm glad we can do that and keep the price competitive. Pat wants to know if I can do something on the history of wheeled footwear, skates, blades, skips, Heelys, perhaps. Pat, I'm sure that you've been into such things yourself. Wheeled footwear in a shop would be really interesting. It'd take us back to the old diner days where you just roll in, you have a waitress on roller skates come out and serve you your food, then trip and fall, and throw the tray under your car by accident. I don't know. Maybe I'm not old enough to remember those days. I don't know if anyone is. Back in the 50s, you'd have to probably be in your 70s or 80s to know that. Sorry about that. I just was taking a drink of water. An ice cube went down my throat, and I was reading stuff from Pat Paulson. So it's a bad combination. I didn't know Sonic did that. I've never been to a Sonic. I don't know anything about their food, but there's a ton of them around where I am. Yeah, Heelys. That's what I had known them to be. But I tend to remember, was there an ad like in the 70s? I think it was, where I think they were like a wooden clog or something with retractable wheels in them. If I remember right, my oldest sister had a pair, but I don't know if I accurately recall that. Because back when I was a kid, we had those really junky adjustable roller skates that you needed the key for. Ugh, they were terrible on your feet. Ladies and gentlemen, hold the phone. We have joining us now from the great Gulf Coast of these United States, not far from me in Central Texas. You know him, you love him. Please welcome to the stage, Cass Nichols from Speed Wrench. Hey.
Oh my goodness. I feel like I might be the dumbest person alive.
Why? What happened?
Oh, I hate technology.
But you got me out of my jam last time.
I almost threw this thing through the wall. If it wasn't for the fact that I paid for this with a shop credit card, I would have chunked it. It's all right.
But you made it.
So I switched computers this week because I have a MacBook and it sucks. It's like the internet. I don't know. It takes double the internet that everything else does. So, we got anybody watching this thing or what?
Yeah, we got Jason Williams, Shannon Dickinson, Pat Paulson, James Christian's here. Who else? And some other folks who haven't let themselves be known yet in the chat.
Well, you got to chat it up.
I know. We put some. I put some feelers out to Mark DeSashin from Mid Atlantic Tools and Jude Santa Cruz from Power Stroke and Jude. So hopefully we'll be joined by one or both of those guys tonight.
Well, I can tell you where Jude is right now.
I know where he is.
I
He's
believe
watching
there's
the
a
Celtics.
basketball game.
Well, at the rate things have been going, it's going to be an anticlimactic game 4.
Yeah, I don't know. You being the resident New Englander, you probably have some a small bit of skin in this game, huh?
Well, I haven't followed basketball in so long. Back in the 80s, when the Celtics were the powerhouse in basketball, them and the Sixers, I mean, they were it was just a terrific, terrific time to be a basketball fan. And it was a great time to be a Bostonian because it was always exciting every year watching them play. But I haven't followed them in a long time. I was kind of surprised this year when I heard that they were in the finals.
Worst job of the week. Let's see. Hmm. I don't know. This week's been pretty easy. No
Has it?
complaints.
Well, that's good. Hey, Diabolical
I don't know what I
58
did.
is listening. Hey, Diabolical, good to know you're giving us an ear.
I gotta think about it for a second. There's got to be something terrible I did this week. I
Hey,
don't
Fremont
remember.
House. Jim
I
O'Brien's
wonder
here
what they're
from
working
the
on Tuesday
gem
when
of
you
the
showed up.
Eastern Seaboard, South Jersey. Thanks for stopping in,
South
Jim.
Jersey.
Yeah.
What was I working on when you showed up this week? What side of the shop was I on?
I remember you having a complaint about something you were working on. What was it? You were on the side with your alignment rack.
Oh,
You were underneath a
yeah.
truck.
I still doesn't ring a bell. I don't know.
Well, at least it wasn't
This
anything
week
too
went by
significant.
smooth. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like Jason says, you can't be
That's
talking about
coming.
some headaches.
Well, I got to work tomorrow, so that's kind of the headache.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's twofold. I gotta put a dash back in a F-350, but it's like not the hardest thing I've ever done.
Hmm.
It's kind of heavy, but I gotta do it by myself because my partner there had to get one of his wheels fixed today, so
Oh,
it's not like his ass could lift anything before.
I know it's true.
Yeah. Oh,
What was it? Do you
I
have
don't
a
know.
best,
Last week was
do you have a best
last
job of the week you can remember?
best job of the week. That
Yeah.
was the last job I did. Like, what's your favorite day of school? The last day of school.
Yeah, that's the truth.
I don't know. Best job of the week. Let's see. Yeah, I had a 95 GMC C1500 come in with a misfire and it wouldn't idle. And I quickly diagnosed that they put the spark plug wires on wrong. And they gave the EGR constant engine vacuum, causing it to run like doo doo the whole time. So I diagnosed that in about 5 minutes.
That's not bad. Almost as good as the time
Yeah.
you diagnosed my sister's Odyssey that wouldn't start because the negative battery cable wasn't attached.
You know, you have your moments.
Every now and then you get the easy ones.
Uh,
Yeah. Unlike
hey,
Jason, who
all
was
right.
duking it out with a Kenworth T680, doing a dash in that one.
All right. So I got a story from beyond or story from the shop. So back in Lloyd's days, we had this customer bring in their car. They bought a battery from us, and they had their car towed in. They called and they made it apparent that the battery was no good. I'm like, well, okay, get towed in. We'll figure out what's going on. If you need a new battery, we'll put a new battery in there. So we get the tow truck drops the car off. I walk out there. I pop the hood. I look. I go, okay. Well, I know what's wrong with the battery instantly. So they had left the plastic post covers on top of the battery whenever they put the terminals on. I swore up and down they didn't do that, but I was
But there
able
it
to.
was.
I had to warranty out the battery. So,
Wow.
oh man, they wanted us to pay for the tow. I was like, I don't think so. No,
No,
I
no.
handed them the two caps. You could clearly see they put the terminals on there. So
Whew.
they're like, oh no, that battery's bad. I'm like, mm-mm.
In fact, I bet the battery's very good.
You know,
Well, thanks for the plug on the gloves, Chaka. Chaka says the gloves are pretty good there. 100 per box versus 50 for just a bit more is worth it. That's what I was hoping, and I was hoping they could be priced well enough that they sell pretty well, and they have been. I can't complain about that. It just bums me out that I had an agreement going with a customer that was going to buy a lot of gloves, and they backed out of it. So it's kind of a bummer for
are
me.
we talking
It
about
is what
Are we talking about Cat Metro?
yeah, and yeah.
Sorry, I can name names. I can name names, right? Am I
Oh,
allowed to?
no,
I
there's
know
nothing
that
wrong naming
you don't
names.
want to for business purposes, but
No, there's nothing. No, that will not affect my ability to do business with them any way, shape, or form. There's so many people in that organization that do purchasing, I don't care if I piss off the lady that's been buying the gloves for me, because as far as I'm concerned, I'm not going to sell them any more gloves. But I have plenty of good
Oh,
relationships with other people.
I would up the prices the next time. They're like, "Oh, we'd like to buy 1,000 boxes." You're like, "Really?
$30 a box, please. Yeah.
Well, let's see.
Now,
Let me make it worth my while."
well, I'm not going to
What
sell
up,
to them
Christian?
for any less than I would sell anyone else for. It's I have a a pricing schedule based on quantity, and that's what I'm selling to them for. There's no longer the special price for them. You know,
Tomorrow's gonna be a big day. Big day. Maybe.
tomorrow,
They may come and finish the drive on lift tomorrow.
really. Oh, do regale us with the whole story so everyone knows
Oh
just
my
how long this has
gosh.
been going on for and what the problems actually were.
I don't know how long it's been going on for. How long
Since you
we've
had it
been open?
installed, you've been on like 2 years now,
Which
right?
which time? Which time installed? So we had a drive on lift. We bought a drive on lift and we wanted to like the I don't know the exact length, like the 27 footer, right? We want to be able to do the long bed, 4-wheel drive, dually trucks. We want to be able to get on the alignment machine, right? Or on the alignment rack so we can do alignment. And so we got the one that was like 18 inches too short or whatever it is. It's whatever the measurement is, it's off by, I think it's 22 and a half inches is what it really is. But we've been going back and forth. So then they get the ramps in, they figure it all out. They bring it in and they have just the ramps. So they go and take a functioning lift and make it a non-functioning lift. And so then they're like, "Oh, they sent us snap-on ramps for a Challenger lift," and I was like, "I don't care. I want you to find all the right parts of this thing. I want you to put it together, and I want it to work." And so he's like, "Oh, I gotta do this and this and this and this," and I was like, I don't care. Just
Just get it
I
work.
don't want to hear about the labor. Just show me the baby." So we got the call that they're coming in. I mean, but it needs like the slip plates in the front are different. Everything is different. But it's 100% different. The ramp not only are the ramps longer, they're 6 inches wider. And so whenever they got shipped to the shop, I went and measured them and I sent them the dimensions. I go, these are wider than the other ones, and these are the dimensions. Do you have all the parts? I got this response. Yes. No, he didn't. It was just yes. So, anyways, they're gonna show up. He said he's gonna be there at 8, which means he's gonna be there 11, and I'm gonna be there till like 7 o'clock tomorrow night, and I will be not so happy.
Ugh.
And there's some people on here that know the saga, and I will flamethrow through a text message. I promise.
Ugh.
But allegedly tomorrow it's gonna get fixed.
What are the
I don't
odds that
know.
you get this of actually working out tomorrow?
Uh, I put it less than 50%.
Ugh. Ouch.
I have no faith. I mean, like
Yeah.
all right. So you got to look at it from like Vegas perspective, right? Like if
Mhm.
Vegas was putting odds on it, they would put low odds on it because the guy hasn't delivered, never not once. I mean, like it's just over and over and over under delivered. You got to put more than zero, Jason, because if you're betting on it, you got to draw attention to the other side of the bet. But no, it'll be another story. And hopefully they don't take a functioning lift and make it a non-functioning lift, a really
Yeah.
non-functioning lift. 'Cause I can't do alignments right now. I don't have any slip plates. And then we have to get the guy that does our alignment, or we have to get. Let me back this up. So the lift and the alignment machine are two different people. The guy that we bought the alignment machine from, that's all he does. He sells alignment machines. And he sells and services. So he needs to come in and we move the lift forward like 22 inches or 36 or whatever it was. He needs to readjust the tower for the, you know, the for the. We have ours is a fixed tower, so our cameras are fixed. They don't mount to the back of the machine. We don't roll it around, so it's always in the same spot all the time. We just need to move it back a little bit and have them tune the camera. But also, we need to update the software on the alignment machine because we've trusted a new year. So the new software came out in March or beginning of April, something like that. So we get that updated. But that's that guy's available like the at a call. It's not like this where I gotta wait like eons to get the guy back out. He'll show up like within a day or two. So there's the saga.
Mm. Other than that, all your shop equipment's okay, right? Everything else has been going pretty smoothly.
No, both the AC machines have been broken lately.
What?
Yeah, we had to get both of them fixed.
Oh man.
Well, our
It's
1234 machine might be the biggest piece of shit in the history of it. There's nothing on it that's original. Everything has been replaced.
oh.
And the people that sold us were like, "Oh, we know. We should have sold you a different one." And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." You know,
You were just doing a job last
yes.
week when I saw you. Or the week before.
Well, they get it fixed all the time, but like
Oh,
I'm not gonna lie, the 1234 machine's been worked on probably 40 times.
wow.
Or I've had it done have 40 hours on it. They replaced everything.
Wow.
They know what was wrong with it, and then so finally they've got a deal. If it breaks one more time, they're bringing another machine.
I would hope so.
Yeah, because I mean we've only bought it like twice.
Phew.
Well, I mean we haven't paid for every service call, but like they don't come out and work for free.
How old is the machine?
Oh, it's 12 years old.
Hmm.
It's it's at least 4 years old. But the problem is we don't use it all the time, and because it's always broken. But they finally got it figured out. They got it fixed. Well, then the damn 134 machine breaks, and it wouldn't recover. So they came and put another pump on it, and it's fine. It works fine. They come and they do it. They're like if it happens on a Monday, they're there Tuesday morning. So it's not like like you're down forever. You're just down for a couple hours.
Yeah.
But it sucks because you're just like, oh man, these damn machines. So hopefully that's all good.
Yes, you had a few balls up in the air. We have greetings from Graves 432 from Midland, Texas. Welcome. Good to see you.
Greetings from Midland. Have you been to Midland yet,
I
Lindsay?
have not. I have not been.
Oh,
The farthest west I've
it's
been has
Dripping
been
Springs.
Dripping Springs, I think. I know I've been out to Fredericksburg a couple of
Yeah.
times.
Oh,
Yeah, so
Guten Tag, right?
oh yeah,
There you
big world traveler I am.
go.
Yep.
Yes. Fredericksburg's like going to another planet.
It's pretty different. It's nice out there. I like the
So,
area.
the thing I have is so only people that live in this area are gonna know this, but wouldn't you figure there'd be more highway patrol on the way out to Fredericksburg? Like they could be knocking the DWI market in the dirt.
You would think. I am
I mean,
I am pretty surprised how few cops I see in general, both locally and on the highways.
it's gotta be payoffs.
Yeah, Grace
It's
says
gotta be
it's
payoffs.
hot or hoot. It's hot. Yeah, it got up to
Hoot.
last week it was during the week I think we had one day our thermometer here on our property is reading 108, but I think it was an anomaly because that's just it wasn't like an area wide average or anything. Brian Stewart's here. Hello, Brian. Good to see you. Yeah, good luck
It's
in Dallas.
just the
It's
season.
been
You know
pretty
what I
hot
mean?
all over, Jason.
Christian, I said hey to you like 2 minutes ago, 3 minutes ago, 5 minutes ago. Hey, Christian. Hello. Are you excited about football season?
I think you're right, Pat. No, being a cop nowadays is certainly not what it used to be. That's a tough industry. Very, very difficult profession. Um,
I mean, if
that I,
I
I
want to hit
can't
people
blame.
in
I
the head
can't
with
blame
stuff,
anyone who doesn't want to.
I can only imagine what a cop would want to do. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's not
Like
like
all the stupid questions I have to deal with.
oh god.
Like, oh, we're gonna circumvent the office, come bother you because you look busy. It's like, yeah, you don't say. You don't have that problem because you can control who comes on and comes in and out of your office.
Can I though? It's kind of like once that door's open, I'm like, whoever the breeze blows in, and sometimes it's just guys who are really like being on the truck. So it's not even whether I like the guy or not. That's not it. It's just guys who are just on there who just want particularly just hate where they work and just want to break from the shop. and get on, and then they never leave. And then I'm trying to get on about my day. So you're always stuck between. I don't want to kick guys off the truck, but at the same point, I actually have to go. I've
You're like,
been
"Shit or get off the pot. What are you buying or you staying or leaving? What are you doing?"
right. Yeah, I mean, and I've told people, I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, it looks like you and I are going to go sell tools together for the rest of the day. And some guys
Yeah,
don't
you
get
just
it.
have to ride in the back. "Hope you're not motion sick. Let's go." Oh, man. You'll open that door and you'll be like, "Ah, I guess he was motion sick." I think I said on your truck that on Tuesday, I drank like 2 bottles of water before I did anything.
Man, you wish you had a third.
Yeah, but to be
Yeah,
fair, I drank the 2 bottles of water in about 15 seconds, so
that's true.
I
You
wasn't
put them
really on
down
the
pretty
truck
good.
that long. I bet I was on the truck less than, what, 5, 10 minutes?
That wasn't a long time.
Yeah, no, we're too busy. I got too much going on because it's just me in the back. Uh-oh,
Oh, Power Stroke
we have a
Jude
little
is in the
crump.
chat. The Celtics are down.
Are
What's
they
the
in
score?
where are they playing the game at? Are they in Boston or Dallas, or
No,
do they
they're
play
in,
basketball?
no, they're on the road.
Oh. Oh, they may drop a game just so they can win it at home. Yeah, I'd take that right now, Graves 432. He didn't have to be AC certified, just has to have a pulse and, reliable transportation.
The bar has sunk
Oh,
pretty low, and it's not just this industry. Holy cow!
Jesus. Well, I mean, the problem is like the people that want jobs are like, they're like, "Oh yeah, I was like a barista for 22 years. I want to be a mechanic now." You're like,
Mm,
uh
yeah.
Why would you want to leave a job where you get paid like a barista pays pretty well, I think, in this
Do
town
they?
at least.
I don't even know.
Why not
If I get paid
rolling
well enough, I might do
dimes
it.
for gas right now?
I know.
I don't like
Well,
people enough. I like the smell of coffee, but I don't like people enough to go be a barista. Like everybody's kind of pissy in the morning whenever they don't have their coffee. Like, I can't have a coffee. I'm a morning person.
Brian, I can't say I'm not guilty of employing the same trick. There have been shops where before I get there, I turn the AC off just to keep guys off the truck.
If I show up and the AC's off, it's not. Or if he shows up and the AC's off,
No,
it's not good. It
that's
means I'm working on it. Uh, it's like, Cass. By the way,
about that AC.
yeah. It's usually not good.
Not usually.
It's even harder now because there's only one of me there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Are
But
you
Graves
actively looking? Or
432.
you just
Well, yeah, but I can't even get my partner to show up right now.
yeah.
Kidding. He's injured. It's not his fault. Well, I mean, technically it is his
Well,
fault, but
I mean,
no, he had a little surgery today. And he was at the shop before and after the surgery. So
okay,
he's stubborn. He don't like to go away. He doesn't want to be accused of not doing his part.
of course.
I'm like, well, you do more than I do. So your job's way harder than mine. I just get the cars are the only thing that yell at me.
I mean, if it's broken, there is a solution for it. You can't necessarily
Yeah.
say the same about people.
No. Yeah.
You know,
Just I don't know. There's not an easy button for that. You know what I mean? I've been looking for it for a while. But I don't know, today wasn't bad. I didn't have too many like distractions.
well, that's good.
I kind of
Fridays are my
appreciate it.
they're
Some stuff.
Fridays are an office day for me, so
Mm.
I get caught up on financials for the week and place any remaining orders and make some phone calls and stuff. So Friday is usually a pretty easy day, but if I don't dedicate a solid day to doing that stuff, it would just all the little things would fall through the cracks.
Well, it's funny you say something about Milwaukee fans running on high. I usually piss and moan about the AC being on the truck. The first thing I do is like, "Hey, can we turn it down a little bit? I'm a little cold."
That's not a bad problem to have.
Mm. No, well, the problem is I'm, like, covered from head to toe in sweat, so
Well, yeah.
the
I
AC
mean,
being on is my, like, least favorite thing.
if you feel really cold,
Like, the Snap-on truck, his fan on this truck is like it could remove paint from a car. It blows so hard.
Ugh.
And I go in there, I'm like, "Hey, man, can we drop that down to, like, not on?"
Your cheeks are all windburned, and your lips are chapped by the time you walk off.
Oh, yeah, I mean, like, he didn't notice it because he's not like, he's not as tall as me, so he's kinda out of the jet stream there. Oh, man.
Stands under it, all
He's
the
a good guy.
wind goes over
Well,
his
I
head.
really need to get him on the we need to really get him on your show or on your
Yeah, we
channel.
do.
He's a solid guy. Have you met him yet?
Not in person, no. But I everyone who he services has nice things to say about him, and I like what I know of him. I've never met him yet.
He's a solid guy. I
Yeah,
mean, like, I like I liked our dealer before. He was a great guy too, and I mean, like, usually you don't trade up. I mean, like, this guy was awesome, or this guy's
it's
awesome.
it's
We
nice to
definitely, I
hear.
mean, improved. Yeah, I mean, the our Matco lady, she's kinda like an acquired taste, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I like to fancy myself as a people person. Everybody's laughing, everybody knows I'm bullshit, but but, she can be kinda hard because 'cause I'm just like, "Hey, I don't spend a lot." I yeah, you should have been here 25 years ago when I was buying tools, you
Yeah.
know? I'm just adding a few things here and there now, nothing I'm not trying to set any records, so, yeah, I bought a few things from 'em, stuff that makes life easier.
We have a new person in the chat, Toyotas and Tools. Welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Yep. I used a bottle jack to remove the hubs off my skid steer whenever I did the axle bearing.
Those
Usually,
are
I try to
very handy.
avoid working on anything else that I need a bottle jack for.
Yeah.
It's like one of those tools where you're like, "Oh god."
I am surprised how many shops can get by without much in the way of lifting equipment. And then there's other shops that got so many different pieces of equipment for between their lifts and their jacks and the number of jacks and types of jacks. And other shops have almost nothing. It blows my mind what they can do without
Man,
any way to get vehicles up and
you
running.
need to come check out the bed remover tool that we have now for the forklift.
You have a bed remover tool?
Mhm. Well, it's like, it's like a adapter to hold the bed after you disconnect it so you can lift it off.
I haven't seen one before.
The problem is DJ and I used it, and,
Yeah.
it took more than 3 people to use it.
Oh,
Like,
jeez.
this is a bad idea." There's $300 on the drain. It was like 225.
Uh,
We've only used it once, it was on my truck, and it was like, "Oh, this is not gonna end."
oh, what a drag.
It's alright.
Is it easier than
It's
lifting
like
a cab?
no, we use the regular two-post lift to lift a
Yeah.
cab. We don't do a ton of that. I try to stay away from that work. That sounds like hard work.
Well,
Bottle jack to hold the cab up. See, I did something kinda I don't know. Well, I guess the worst job I did this week, I had to do a set of 4 tires. If that's my worst job I did this week, wasn't that bad. Of course, it
that
rained
sounds
like 2 inches though after when I had to drive it. We always go and shake them down for a test drive afterwards, make sure everything's good.
yeah.
And I went and drove like straight into the rainstorm. I think it was on Tuesday after you left. It was
That's
on
right. It did
Tuesday.
rain later that day. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's
Yeah.
correct. A lot.
Yeah, I remember driving home thinking, "Nah, it doesn't look like it's gonna rain much." And then I got home and it was raining where I was, but then I
Like,
looked on the map, I looked on the radar and saw the big blob coming right over, your shop and my parents' house and stuff. I'm like, "Oh, I guess they're getting it pretty
yeah.
good out there." Yeah.
It rained like an inch and a half, something like that. That was a lot of rain. For us,
Yeah.
that's a lot.
It is a lot.
So, but no, it's
Um,
good.
Brian's harkening back to the days of before Amazon, Harbor Freight, and smartphones to be a tool guy. I would venture to say it was a very different world back then for tool
Yeah, but
sales.
I don't
Just
know.
go back to the '90s even. Doesn't have to be that long ago.
Oh my gosh, it was so hard. So okay, so can I shit on somebody?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, okay, so our Cornwall guy back in the 90s, this guy was the hardest person to buy stuff, and you had to wait ever to get it.
Wow.
And then heaven forbid anything ever breaks because it ain't never getting replaced. And I was like, oh, boy, that was one thing I'm glad the 90s took with it was him. That guy sucked.
It is pretty amazing how bad some guys are. Oh, look who just joined us, Sammy Salinas. Hey, Sammy, good to see you. I've missed you this weekend last. I don't know. We must have just been missing each other's shop. But Sammy just bought that new Vim quarter-inch mini ratchet that I'm dying to show you. So yeah, I got that for you. But Sammy says the best tool he has was a 3/16 chain to pull AC compressors out of buses.
And everything he works on ain't light. So
Well, now it is because
I don't
Sammy
care.
moved to the electronics division, so now
Oh, all right.
he doesn't have to lift heavy
Hey,
things anymore.
look, I'm trying to pay him a compliment, right? And you're over here shitting on me by
You
like,
can't.
oh no, 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 no. Now he's got
No,
the easy
Sammy's such a
job.
great guy. Sammy's such a great guy. You cannot over compliment him. It's impossible.
Yeah,
Sammy's
I
such a
haven't done
great
it,
guy.
but
Compliments are insults. That's how great he is.
if I ever get a more than a couple days off that I don't have to travel to somewhere across America, I'm gonna go on a drive with Lindsay.
Yes, that'd be fun.
We'll shop the shop. I'll get a Coil Tools polo, walk in, I'll be like, all right, your bill is $392. I will take some money from you today.
You can be my muscle.
My
Hey,
muscle.
Mark from Mid
That's
Atlantic
right.
Tool.
We'll
Mark,
have
I
to get
shot you a
Anton
link if
Chigurh
you got
to
some time.
you ever
So
watch
check.
what was that movie called? No Country for Old Men?
Yeah.
We're gonna get him to be our collection agent.
Oh, that's a great idea.
I mean, that guy was he had
Pay up or
guaranteed
you get a
results.
cattle bolt right through the head. Hmm.
Hey, whatever take your silent shotgun, I don't care. I mean,
Hey, if it works, it works.
the guy
I'm not.
lived on principle alone right there.
I kind of yearn for the days where we had like union strongmen that would break some kneecaps. In fact, Sammy
Yeah, I
had to take a mental health day. I'm not
I
surprised. I've been having some interesting conversations lately with with uh, with Matt, who's the union vice president and shop steward there. It just seems like there's a lot of reasons to take mental health days lately. Oof.
I don't get those
No, there's this a
because
lot of drama and
yeah,
stress that
because
goes on in environments like that.
my boss is a real asshole, by the way.
But you own the
Mm.
shop.
I don't own it. All right, we rent the shop, and I have a partner, so it's not like don't put so much onus on me. I just
All right.
he's got to go jet skiing in the morning. Rough,
Yes, I'm so jealous.
rough. Yeah. Well, he's got water to go jet skiing. We went jet skiing here. We'd
I
have to, we'd
we'd
just
be
crawl over the rocks first.
we'd be dune surfing.
Yeah, we need a jet ski with 4 tires and
Uh,
possibly suspension to get over all the rocks. Oh man, jet
well,
skiing. What's it
enjoy
like
your
to water?
water, Mark. Rub it
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
I gotta go use the water tomorrow.
You got water you can stand in. Our water, if you wanted to get wet, you have to lay down and roll around. Uh, what's going on, Pat CB?
At CB, how are you?
He still won the Wide Right CFP prize. I mean, he never sent me his email. If he ever emails me at Wide Right CFP, I don't know what our guaranteed prize was, but man, I mean, name your prize, I guess.
Oh. Well, Power Stroke 2 does a
It's there
question.
for
Is
you.
there any ideas? Any ideas why JD Co hates Snap-on so much? You sell the same tools as them, Lindsay, and you don't hate. I don't know why he doesn't like them. I
Because
I
he's
will
short.
say that. Well, and I'd be interesting to know what uh, what Pat's take is on this kind of thing, because Snap-on is the kind of company that it seems like, because they're on top of the tool world, you, people are just going to be gunning for you no matter what. People like to hate people on top, and I suspect that that's what a lot of the hatred is about. Because I will tell you this: a guy like Cass's Snap-on guy, and I've met a few over the years, who guys are really stand-up guys, very good to work with. Although I didn't work with them personally as their customer, I know them and have had interactions with them. We've had to sometimes we help each other out with some stuff. And Snap-on Corporate is outstanding to work with. I love when I have to do something. Well, in fact, I'll show you. I've got I got a broken snappy ratchet. It's a little quarter drive ratchet, a 3/8 drive ratchet rather than a quarter drive body. And someone just asked me if I get them a repair kit for it because the reverse lever broke. That is simply a call to Snap-on Corporate, and I say, "Can you please send me a repair kit?" And they say yes, and they do, and they are very helpful and friendly, and I love working with them. I don't have anything bad to say about them as a company, and as far as individual dealers go, some are simply better than others. So it's not any different from any other vendor that you work with. I don't know why I don't know why Nick particularly hates Snap-on. I don't know what his reasonings is for that, but
I have an
yeah,
idea, right? So,
yeah,
like, if you go and you hate on something, it kind of draws people to you.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, you're pointing stuff out. Pat, I'm sorry I teased you. I will go dig through my email. I don't know why I didn't see it. I will definitely go dig through my email and get you hooked up. Pat Paulson said he enjoyed his commemorative Water CFE thong. It's one of a
We,
kind. That's all I can
yeah,
say.
we still don't have any pictures
The
though.
only one of a kind. I don't want any pictures. That's like something I could never see. You know what I mean?
Hey, I will say this: I don't mind watching someone fly their freak flag. If you want to send out pics, Pet, you go right ahead.
Nope. I'm gonna pass on that one. Pat TV, I will get it to you. We'll figure it out. I will hook you up.
Okay, we'll get you set up.
Hey, well, I think that's coming up pretty soon. Aren't we getting close to football season now?
Yeah, we are. It's halfway through June, so before too much longer, we're gonna be talking
Yeah.
football. Yeah. Wow.
Yep.
Woo.
Are we gonna do what, Wednesday nights? I haven't talked about. We need a meeting.
Yeah, we do.
It's one quarter of the group was asking me questions today. I was like, I'm going online with Lindsay. He goes, football? I'm like, no,
No.
tools. He's like,
Well, Brian said that he had a customer has an older Mac Impact, absolutely loved it, sent it to get rebuilt. 3 months ago, Mac said they can't fix it and threw it away. What? It's
sounds
not
like
theirs to
Mac
throw away.
owes
They don't own
money.
it. It's not like you. It's not like
It
when you
sounds like
send
Mac
something in.
owes somebody back.
Oh, I would say so because it's not like you sign anything saying, "Hey, I understand I'm relinquishing my ownership to you." No, that is not theirs to throw away. I have seen on occasion that's happened with some companies who just don't want to deal with it. It's really a shame because it's not theirs to throw it away. They need to make that right. But the thing that bothers me a lot about particularly repairs in this industry is you want to just take the word for the person, the vendor that you're working with, but it's not easy to do because sometimes the vendor doesn't know, or sometimes they're too lazy, or sometimes they have an ulterior motive. I'll give you an example here. I walked into one of the larger trash companies that I service, and during a conversation, one thing led to another, and the guy said, "Oh, I got a broken 3/4 inch Matco impact, air impact." He said, "It's been sitting in my drawer for years." I said, "Well, you want me to take a look at it because I do air tool repairs?" And he said, Well, the guy told me it couldn't be fixed. I said, "Did he tell you why it couldn't be fixed?" And he said, "Yeah." He said parts weren't available. I said, "Well, let's bring it out to the truck and we'll check it out." So we go out to the truck with his impact, model number on it. I look it up at my parts supplier, and there's a whole list of parts that are available for it. I said, I said, if we know what's wrong, in fact, like the anvil broke and something else is broken. I said, if that's what's broken, I said, here's the pricing for the parts, that and an hour labor, and we'll get you fixed up. So we knew exactly what it was going to cost. And he said to go ahead with the repair. That cost him like $160 or something. He had another 3/4 Mako impact that was his backup. And he said he was quoted repair costs from the Mako guy for $365, I think. And that surprised me because that seemed really expensive. So he asked me to look into what I did, and I did the repair for 150 bucks, I think. So it's you have to be careful and vigilant when you're looking to get tools repaired because you just don't know the quality of the information you're getting. That's particularly frustrating for customers. Certainly, I I find it frustrating that people have to go through that when it's much easier just for me to look on my parts supplier, see what the availability and the pricing is. I can tell somebody right there within a few bucks what it's going to cost, and they'll know what they're up against.
I need to get some parts of the brake lathe. It
Mm,
is reaching its my limit with it. So,
yeah.
but every time I've only found one place, and it's in Chicago. And I don't know if I called. I think I called them, and I think they were. I went like straight to like a call center type deal. Not call center, but like a e-recording.
Yeah.
I was like, they're like, oh, please contact our website. Like, that's why I'm calling you. I'm trying to find these parts.
Hmm.
If not, I'm gonna buy another brake lathe. But I don't want to do that because,
They're expensive, man.
yeah, well, that
They're
and I've
crazy.
had that one basically for 28 years. So,
Oh, if you decide to buy a new one, I know a guy that has a used one. He's been looking to sell it, so I can hook you up.
we already talked about this. He wanted too much money.
Did he? I can't remember what he wanted. I'm sure by
Yeah,
now he'll
we were
take
like,
less. Things just taking up
oh,
space
yeah,
on
it's gonna be a lot less.
the shelf.
Yeah,
Maybe you
that's
guys will
good. That's
work
a
out a
good new
deal.
boat.
Yeah. Well,
I
Toyota's
mean,
and
like,
Tool
I'm not
says
paying
that
a.
the thing is like about Snap-on is the pricing gimmicks they have. They have a half-inch socket set for $1,500. I mean, they have great sockets. They have great wrenches. Their ratchets are great quality. I would never say anything bad about the quality of their tools. The pricing can be very
I, I'll
expensive, though.
I'll just say this: I bought Snap-on tools when they were affordable.
Yeah, I mean that's changed a lot. And Jason says that your $2,000 wrench isn't going to get the job done better or quicker.
Yeah,
There's
I didn't. Shoot, I don't think I paid $400 with my wrench set, but I bought it back when the Earth's crust was still cooling. So I mean,
but
it's been a
then,
while.
dude,
I used to make fun of the old guys. Now I think I'm starting to catch up with them.
well, I know eventually you'll become one. But Jude counters with if you strip out a fastener, then his snap-on wrench will pay for itself. I mean, there's excellent quality tools. They're excellent quality tools. I don't think anyone would ever say that their hardline tools are not good. They are great. It's just a question of whether or not it's worth it to you. And the value is where you find it. And if Jason doesn't see the value, but Jude does, that's fair.
Yeah, I never hate on what people buy. I just
No, I mean everyone's got their reasons for why they do or don't deal with certain brands or certain tools or whatever it is. And as long as you think it through, those are valid reasons. This depends on
unless I don't like the dealer, and then if they keep buying from them, they keep coming back. Then I'm like, huh.
Well, that's a good point. When Brian said that the Mac guy hasn't been back since that. Who can and I wouldn't, if I were him, how do you show your face? Right? And in
I mean,
fact,
you just eat. Sorry, you eat the cost. You owe them an impact,
you exactly.
and then you
Exactly.
go and you talk to your sales because Mac has like a regional sales rep.
They do.
You go talk to that guy, and then that guy's gonna go talk to his boss, and they're gonna go make something happen because everybody's getting paid along the way. And the
Yeah.
last person you want to screw over is the guy working on cars using your tools because he can easily go hop onto something else.
Oh yeah.
So if it the way I would do it, if it was me, I would just bought another impact. Just been like, I got him a brand new impact. Say sorry, and then I'll handle this from
Yes, and
there on
I'll
because
eat it or I'll duke it out with Mac or whatever. But yes, that is
exactly.
the way to
It's
do
like
it.
whenever you work on it's like when you work on a car, right? So as soon as you take that car in, you're responsible for it. So if anything happens to it, you can't be like, "Well, sorry,
Yep.
I didn't mean to run into the bus, but I did." You know, oops. Better luck next time.
Oh, and Brian
So,
says that the Mac district manager said that he would replace it with one of his choosing. That's what stand up guy. That's what you do. You have to own up to mistakes when they're made like that. In fact, yeah, Sammy's still on. I was just gonna segue into this one, Sammy. We have Mako again. Maybe he showed up once, 2 weeks ago, and hasn't been back since. The Mako guy that services Capital Metro has run himself into all kinds of trouble financially because he overspent at a tool show, and I think may have overspent in general with Mako, and they shut him off as a result. He owes him a lot of money. And instead of doing what I would think you would do if you're up against it like he is, and to fire sale everything to get the money to pay them back, he he started pocketing money that was supposed to go to Mako credit for people's toolboxes, and he took some tools for repair. He had Matt's 3/4 inch torque wrench that was supposed to be calibrated, and mysteriously somehow now he doesn't know where it is, because I suspect he sold it. And he
mm,
told Matt, I got to eat and I'll get you one. But that was weeks ago. So he's got all kinds of trouble brewing for him. What people were telling me when he showed up was he showed up, and this is the first time anyone's seen him in months. He showed up like nothing happened, like he's old buddies with people. And meanwhile he's screwing some guys over there and just not servicing the shop in general. But you can't
I
screw
mean,
people over like he has.
it's just theft. Mm.
But it's
You
not the
know, I
company;
mean,
it's the individual guy. And
yeah, I mean, but it's just theft. I mean, like
yeah, well,
like how? I mean, like that's bad. That's
it's
really bad.
terrible.
I mean, this is theft. I mean, I'm surprised he sells franchise. To be honest with you.
I am surprised that they didn't pull his franchise if you're going to do that. And I had a conversation with Matt, who's got the 3/4 impact out with him, and he told me that the Mako guy told him the Mako said, just lay low, don't talk to your customers just yet. Like, first of all, they're his customers, not Mako's customers. You know, no one's going to tell me not to talk to my customers. I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
That's just
Yeah. I don't see this working out well for him.
no. One thing that surprised me that he showed back up and he somehow survived. I would think that he would have been beaten to a pulp. You
I've got a
don't
big
do
set
that
of
to
balls.
people.
I can tell you that. Like a giant set.
Whew, yeah, really, it does. I think there's two things you can see from outer space: the Great Wall of China and the Mako guy's ball sack.
Yeah. I mean, like to go and fuck people over like that, and then
Yeah, and then show back up. Hmm,
ee,
yeah, right.
that's a rough one there.
Mm.
Yeah. And then, oh man, I would be so mad when that guy showed up.
Yeah, I don't
Oofta.
know that I would have. Yeah, I don't know how I would take that. I mean, and these guys are rightfully mad, but I think they're keeping their composure about it, because when they
You
come on the
just
truck and
walk
they
on
tell
the
me
truck,
about it.
and I would just take like, "Oh, my impact's worth $1,000. I'll take $3,000 worth of stuff on the truck. You find my impact, I'll find your $3,000, worth of stuff."
Well,
Like, oh,
I sent an email to the Mako guy a couple of months ago. I said, "Hey, man," I said, I know you're not coming around a whole lot. I said, if you want, I can help you out with some tools that guys have out with you. I said, if you want to give them to me, I can take care of it." Right? I never heard from him, and the one thing I suspect is because he probably sold the tools, and he doesn't have them to deal with anyway. So I always got to make that
oh
right.
man, that is that
You
is
know,
that is that is low. I mean, that's
I
like low,
I gave him
low.
an out too.
You
If
shouldn't have
you
done that.
why not?
I know you're trying to be a good guy, but you were trying to help your guys out too.
Yeah, it would have been all right. But
I would have been like, "That guy is."
mm,
So, let me ask you a question. So, I'm guessing this was at like Cat Metro or something.
yeah,
All right. So whoever runs the shop, do they they have a say who shows up to the shop?
I know that's a good question, Sammy. Who actually runs the shop? Can we pin that down to
Pretty
one
good. I
person?
think we're gonna see some 4-letter words here.
I,
That's what I think.
I don't know. It's a good. Who actually runs the shop? They have this kind of confusing strata. Capital Metro is a government agency that oversees the whole operation, and they employ people that work for them, like their financial people, and they have people who run their parts department and stuff like that. But Capital Metro outsources the management of the shop to a third party company, a company called Keolis. And that company then is in charge of hiring and employing all the mechanics, technicians, and supervisors. And there's a lot of them. So when it comes down to who actually runs the shop, I don't know. It kind of runs by committee, I guess. I don't know, Sammy. Is there one person who would have that responsibility as part of their job description? I don't know. Yeah, whoever's there at the time. Yeah, that's kind of what I figured. I
Goodness.
mean, there's they have directors and they have people who are in charge of things, but as far as the day-to-day running of the shop, they have supervisors at the desk there, and they have but I don't know. But to your question, I mean, if they didn't want a tool truck coming around, I don't know who would ever say that. I mean, usually if the vibe is bad enough, the guy should know enough not to come around. But
I
I
mean,
don't know.
if you sold my stools and you showed your face back up, I mean,
Yeah, you'd
that's
have
like,
to. I don't know, man. You'd have to pull me kicking and screaming to not go there again. I mean, I would have to really be. I don't know. It would take a lot to keep me out of there. Just because the guys are so great to me, and it's just such good business there, and it's fun to go. Oh, in fact, here's kind of a little fun thing. My YouTube fame is starting to pay off. The
well,
Thursday, I'm on the truck. In fact, Matt is on the truck with me, Sammy, and we're chatting about some things. The door opens, and a guy walks in I've never seen before, and he's not wearing a uniform. Sure, he's wearing civilian clothes, but he's got a Capital Metro tag around his neck. And he says to me, "Wow, it's really cool to meet you." He says, "I watch your videos." He says, "I've been watching your videos for years." And I said, "Oh, cool, thanks." He said, "I didn't think you were around here." And then he said, "One episode I hear you mention Capital Metro." And he said, "This Capital Metro? I wonder if this is." He said, "Then I saw your truck." So it's kind of cool that a guy who's been watching for a long time, happened to see me and popped on the truck to say hi, and he bought a box of
that's
gloves.
your name. Maybe we see him in the chat.
His name was Rick.
Like,
I
hey,
maybe he'll
Rick,
be Rick. So yeah, it was kind of
Rick,
fun.
you're out there
That doesn't happen
Wednesdays
very
at
often,
five.
but yeah, it's
What does
cool.
Rick do for a living at Cat Metro?
He works in the financial office. I don't know what his job entails. We talked a little bit about it, but
Sammy, what does Rick do?
I don't know if he knows Rick. Yeah, Cornwall and me are the only. Well, first of all, we're the only two trucks that come around, right? I mean, Mac is there. I don't know. Has he been around? Mako, we
Is
know
that
about
my Matt
Mako.
guy?
This, yeah, same. Yeah, it's Kyle. Um, and the Snap-on
Kyle
guy
doesn't go there.
was that
Kyle's like the easiest person on earth to get along with.
he doesn't
Well,
go.
it probably cuts into his drinking schedule, so
Probably does, which is
he
he's a
doesn't have a
terrific guy.
problem.
He's a terrific guy. Just doesn't show up that often. Um, and this,
Well, when you live the kind of free lifestyle that he does, you don't need to show up.
I know I'm jealous. I wish I could. I actually have to show up every
Me
day.
too.
Yeah, Max every other week. Yeah, and then the Snap-on guy is a guy who is a corporate guy because the Rick Lance or Bruce, you sure those are two? Yes, yeah, they're not the ones you're thinking of. Um,
Sammy, do you want me to put in a good word with Kyle to get him to show up every week?
no, I meant I enjoy being one of only two tool truck choices.
Okay, I won't do it.
It's not in my
I'm
best
just guilt
interest.
him in there. I grew up Catholic, so I'm good at guilting people into doing things. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
How many
the
Catholics out
Snap-on
there
guy.
will disagree with me? None.
Well, the Snap-on guy that shows up to Metro is a corporate guy, and I think he's pretty
Well, I
disenchanted.
bet everybody hates him.
Yeah,
God, I
and
hate the Snap-on
he
corporate
hates his
people.
whole situation. Yeah, he's
Well,
not in a
because
good way.
you can't get any deals from them. I guarantee you can't get any deals
No,
from them. Because anytime I
I guess
talk to the corporate guys, they're always like, "Oh, like," and you can never get a deal out of them.
no,
I
their
I
prices are
finally
their
told,
prices.
"Oh, what I hate more than that are the Mac corporate guys. I can't stand those guys.
Oh, really?
They are, oh man, it's like dealing with adult children. You're just like, ah."
Yeah,
Let's see. It's making a lot of guys. I want to hear now. Yeah.
yeah. The Snap-on guy's making a lot of guys mad. Yeah, well, you know what I think is funny? Oh, hey, I'll show you something. All right, so I showed you this ratchet. This is a snappy ratchet.
Hmm.
I just took this in for repair, 3/4 air impact. Um, just 2 days ago, I got back on the truck a replacement snap-on ratchet for a guy whose locking flex head broke, and that's the kind of thing I do regularly because guys just don't want to deal with snap-on guy. Like all this stuff is squarely in his arena, but they bypass
We
him.
had a bad Snap-on guy one time.
Yeah,
Uh, Probably back in the early 2000s. We had like a really, really good Snap-on guy, and then he just stopped doing it because he made all the money in the world that he needed to make, and he was going to live off his investments. I was really jealous of this guy,
wow, that's
and
nice.
I mean, he did it right. I mean, guy was a cool guy. It's fun to hang out with.
Hmm.
He was a good dude, and but he just invested. He just took care of his money well, right? I don't know how he
Yeah,
invested it. He just took care of his money well. He's able to retire like at 45 years old. So he did, and he's enjoying retirement. 'Cause I've talked to him
awesome.
since. And then we got another guy that was not a salesman, and why the hell he ever became a salesman was beyond. I guess he didn't want to work on cars. I don't know why. Like, like inevitably you have to spend money to make money. This guy didn't believe
Yeah.
in that. Like, so you
Yeah.
couldn't get anything. He was always on hold. He
Mm.
lied about getting an impact fix for me one time. It was still sitting in the truck. So like, hey, how's that impact? He's like, oh, I'm still waiting to get it back. Like, well,
Ugh.
you kind of need to send it first. But
Oh, man.
I had a demo impact. It was, like I just held on to the demo until I got my broken one back, and then he never collected the demo, and then he disappeared. And I mean, he was always on hold. He was the worst Snap-on guy in the history of Snap-on guys. He had nothing on the truck. I remember one day I walked on the truck and I go, "Oh yeah, this guy's going out of business." And he goes like, "I'm not going out of business." 2 weeks later, he's out of business.
I
I
would
mean,
love to have conversations with guys like that when they're getting into the business to understand what their expectations are. And regardless
so
of
back
what
in
you've
like
been.
'98. Oh man, I got a great story about this. So back in like '98, we had we had a Mac, right? We had two Mac guys, and the first Mac guy was like this big cokehead, and he like snorted up all his money, and he didn't last for long because I think he ended up like disappearing. But the second Mac guy we had was like this boob, and he just you know he was just, I don't know how that worked back then. I don't know if he was like a corporate employee or something. But they were paying him like hourly. He was making like $7 or $8 an hour or something like that. And so one week, and he had like a set of sockets, a ratchet. He didn't have shit on the truck. I'm like, I don't know why you're wasting fuel driving around. You could have put this in a car. You could have brought this on
Yeah.
a motorcycle. And so then it must have been really bad. The guy showed up one week and he had like a circular saw in the truck and a hammer. And I'm like,
Wow.
where'd you get this from? He's like, well, this came out of my garage. I'm gonna sell some things. And I'm like, man, what you do is go park this truck and go get a job at McDonald's because
Wow.
that's about your qualifications. So then we didn't have a Mac guy, or we didn't have a Mac guy for like 25 years. Or no, not 25. What year did you start? 16, 17, something like that?
2016. Yeah, 16.
Yeah. So it was from 1998 to 2016.
Whew,
Maybe 99. I don't know. I'm bad with dates.
that's a long time though. Yeah, because I remember when I first coming around, uh, the first shop I ever stopped in, someone said they haven't seen a Mac guy, and they said at least 20 years. So yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's like, rare. Now we have all the major food groups out there.
yeah. Well,
I don't know, but we don't have Cornwall.
Jason and Shannon have an interesting conversation going. Jason said if you don't buy from them, they don't want to service the tools that broke. I agree that is true, but Shannon's experience has been different. Is he'll got a guy who replaces to fix anything, no matter where I got it from. Right? I'm the same way. I understand that guys are like what Jason said. There are some guys that say, "No, you didn't buy it from. I'm not taking care of it," and they're shooting themselves in the foot because if you're
Yeah.
like Shannon's guy, there's your business, right? You don't have to buy a tool from me. You can buy a service. If my service is fixing a broken air tool, I'll do that because that's first of all, there's a way better margin on this for me than anything else that I have on the truck because this is 100% service. If I have to buy a part, they pay for the part, and then it's just my time. So my cost in that is minimal, and I make all that money myself. So why would I do that? And why would I not do that instead of sending it out to somebody to do?
Yeah,
And
if you showed up and you were selling Mac tools and you wouldn't warranty out Mac tools that I had that were broken, and I have a Mac guy for 20 years, you wouldn't have been there. I would have been
oh
like,
yeah,
"Hey, thanks for stopping by.
absolutely,
Appreciate it. Don't ever come back."
right. Yeah, that
You
you
know,
have to do because if there's the best thing you can be in this business is useful to somebody, and if they don't find you useful, they're not going to have you around anymore, and they'll either be explicit and tell you to not show up anymore, or they'll be implicit and just simply not do business, and you'll figure it out pretty quick on your own.
but I've
One way
had
or
to
the
use
other.
like the tool guys to get other stuff fixed before because, like, we didn't have a Matco guy, and I had this Matco breaker bar that I broke like 20 times, and I used to get the Snap-on guy because they parked next to each other, and he would get it warrantied out for me. And like if I
Yeah,
had like whatever few Matco tools I had, with they'd break, I'd get them warrantied out, and then
yeah.
finally Lindsay took over. I finally had to sold the breaker bar. I was like, "Hey, I'm not breaking this thing again because it's for sale."
Ladies and gentlemen, we have somebody very special, willing
Oh,
and ready to join us after his Celtics were taking one
Hulk
on the
Hogan?
chin just a little bit ago. Please welcome to the show, all the way from the beautiful west coast of these United States, Jude Santa Cruz. Welcome, Jude.
What's up, guys?
How the Celtics doing?
What's up?
Well, only down about 40. My son's still watching it. We got hope.
All right.
Hey, you're underwater right now. Your microphone's kind of muffled.
Oh, let me fix that.
Rare earth metal tools. I got to look into what rare earth metals actually are. Snap-on ratchets made of rare earth metals.
No,
That
I
it?
mean, where we live, rare earth mineral would be water, or
Right.
rare earth object.
Oh, no, you still sound muffled.
All right, let me figure out which one it is. How's that?
Better.
No, you're in HD now.
Yeah, everything has got better.
Get down though.
Well, folks, we're joined by Jude. If you got
Yeah.
any questions for him, bring them on. This has been a good conversation so far. We have a good crew on tonight.
Pat's right. It just went downhill, man.
But anyway, getting
He's
back
got the-
to
Aren't- You're
getting back
not
to
wearing your
what Paul was
Celtics jersey right now, or did you rip it in half?
Oh no, man. I don't you the way Lindsay introduced me, from the beautiful state of California, man, I can't wear that jersey, man. I'd be melting. I got the AC on, but man, I'd have to crank it to like 68 if I wanted to wear that thing. Those jerseys, I'm too big, man. Those things are hot.
I only own one jersey, and it's a Blackhawks Griswold jersey. So I only wear it
Fantastic.
at Christmas. Yeah, I got it for a Christmas present a couple years ago.
That's cool.
My wife gave it to me. I only wear it because
My son was
wife
going
gave
through
it
my
to me.
closet the other day, and he's like, "You have a Paul Pierce jersey? And you have a while back actually." He's like, "You have a Paul Pierce jersey and a Larry Bird jersey?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Why don't you ever wear them?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I'll start wearing them." He's like, "Oh, you don't have to." I said, "You want them?" He's like, "Yeah." I mean, you're gonna have to grow a little bit. I've had those. The Larry Bird one I probably got when I was, well, it's an Olympic jersey, so that was what, 92 when they had the Dream Team.
Yeah, Dream Team.
Wow, yeah.
So 92, that would have put me around 18, 19 years old. So I was already a pretty big dude. So he's gonna have to grow a little bit.
Well, finishing the thought that we had with Shannon and fixing other brands and taking care of other brands. That's the difference, I think, between somebody who thinks of themselves, say, as a Mac guy, and someone who thinks of themselves as a tool guy. And people can make, I think, the mistake of being bound to the brand that they signed on board for. There's nothing that says you can't handle the brands. Well, maybe there is in their franchise agreements, but they're only hamstringing themselves. If you want to be someone's tool vendor, or do you want to be someone's Mac vendor, for example? I'd rather be your tool vendor, and that means I got to deal with every brand. And there's ways to do it. Certainly, I've been doing it for years, and I've been doing it successfully. It just takes a little bit of work, and you have to be willing to kind of break outside that those mental confines that you might have for yourself. If you've thought of yourself as a certain kind of guy, maybe broaden your horizons a little bit. Works out better in the long run.
Yeah. I just hate when they want you to come on the truck and like trade in the tool you already paid for and buy their tool.
Oh,
Because
God, I just
I just want to put my head through the floor every time I hear that.
It's
Like,
just
oh, you should check out our ball joint press. I'm like, yeah, my ball joint press is paid for, and it's made plenty of dough along the way.
Oh, look at this, folks. We have someone new in the chat, Crispy Games. Thanks to you guys, I've been able to find great tool truck alternatives. I recently upgraded to a Vim heavy duty flex head, and it's been amazing. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, Vim is a terrific brand. And independent guys like myself and like Mark DeSashin from Mid Atlantic Tools will sell Vim. But I don't know how many other tool trucks you'd find them on. I don't know if Pat or Brian, if you guys have sold Vim or other brands like that, if you get them through your distribution channels, but there are some terrific alternative brands. You don't have to be relegated to buying off of tool trucks. You can get stuff elsewhere. But that ties into a conversation we had before about other places to buy tools. There's going to be some trial and error if you don't have a good reputable vendor to work with or supplier. Amazon can be a crapshoot. I was talking earlier about doing a video on buying on Amazon and the things to look out for, because it's not always clear cut or as easy as it seems, and you may not get the value you think you're getting there. So yeah, if you do a little bit of legwork and you're able to find some really good vendors, absolutely. There are some great brands that you can use just as effectively as any of the other tool truck brands. In fact, Mark said earlier that he put some Vim, the oil filter pliers, I think he said.
I see Vim on Gabe used to have the Vim tools on his Cornwall truck, and then when he left, Robert, who replaced them, had Vim tools. And then when we got it at the new shop I'm at, when we got our Cornwall guy, he came in with Vim tools. Cornwall, I would say between Vim and Milwaukee and Lyle, I've seen Capri on Cornwall, on the Cornwall trucks. They almost have more other than the few Cornwall tools that they have, and it's mostly blue power. They don't have very many Ohio stuff. It's mostly blue power, but they've got a ton of, almost like your truck, Lindsay. It'd be like an independent truck.
Yeah. In fact, I think that Cornwall is probably the closest thing to an independent truck that's actually a franchise. because they operate much the same way. I think because they see value in doing that. I mean, it really helps you as a vendor to be able to handle as many brands as you can. And yeah, here's the comment from Mark from earlier. He got a Vim XL oil filter wrench on the truck, made it 3 hours. I am not surprised. Their products they display really well, and they're attractive to your eye. You're drawn to them. You pick them up and you look at them and realize these things are built very well, high quality stuff, and the pricing is really very good. So they're very easy sales that way. Yeah, and Sammy's seen Vim on the Cornwall truck around us too. Yeah, I'm not surprised. You're doing yourself a disservice as a tool vendor if you don't carry Vim and Gear Wrench and Lyle and those other brands. Sunex is another great brand.
I used to tease Gabe because I know he was joking, but you know when sometimes there's some truth behind joking, like a little like butthurt joking, and he used to always rag on Snap-on. And I buy tools from everybody. You know, I used to buy tools from Gabe. If you look at my toolbox, I have a lot of Snap-on, but I've got good tools from everybody. But I used to, my comeback to him was like, "Come on, Gabe! You say this is a Cornwall trick. You hardly even have any Cornwall tools. You need to put a Milwaukee or a Vim or something on the side of your truck." Milwaukee trucks here.
Oh, Cass said to me one time, that was a few years ago. There was a Cornwall guy that was making everybody mad, so people were trading in a bunch of Cornwall stuff. So I happened to have like this glut of traded in Cornwall tools, and at the time there was a Cornwall guy that was servicing or going around Cass's area who didn't have much on his truck at all. He was going out of business, as a matter of fact. So I pulled in one day, and Cass says, "You got more Cornwall tools on your truck than a Cornwall guy does." It's probably not far from the truth.
I don't know.
I was guessing because I haven't been on the Cornwall truck, and
you were right. I was on his truck. He had almost nothing on that thing.
I don't know how it works when you open a franchise as an independent dealer, but you also started as a Mac dealer. When they're giving you training on how to sell and everything that you do, like I know Cornwall, even though the dealers I've had, only one has ever done it. You know, they teach you to walk around with the little bucket with all the sales stuff, the promotions. Yep. But do they teach you when you're training, like when you're driving with someone, on how to handle trade-ins, or is that something you learn on your own? Because most of my dealers are relatively new. I'm talking like Gabe probably had the most experience, and he's only been around like 4 years or something like that. Harry was probably about 3 or 4 years. Roscoe, I'm saying that now. When I met them, they had like 2, 3, 4 years. Now they're probably a lot more, because I've known Roscoe from his second day selling tools, and now it's been about 4 years. But none of my dealers understand trade-in, unless I'm the one who doesn't understand it. But when I got a Snap-on, air hammer with the attachments, to make the quick connect attachment, and they're telling me, "Oh, I can give you like $25 or $30 for it." I'm like, dude, you guys, that just sounds crazy to me. Like, they don't understand trade-in value, because I know you can still sell it for a couple $100, $150 at least. I don't know.
They don't teach you necessarily all the ones and zeros of doing trades, but they tell you it's worth doing. But they don't really go over it much, because there's things you're always going to trade in. Like if you're a franchise guy, you're going to be selling toolboxes. You're always going to take a trade for a toolbox, with very rare exception to that. And they don't really teach you much. I remember the first time I did a toolbox deal, I was kind of anxious about it, because I wanted to make sure I didn't screw up the deal, and I wanted to not screw up the trade-in. And I called a mentor of mine at the time who was walking me through it. And he gave me the numbers that I was giving him. And he told me, what the good deals were and whether or not I should do the deal. And he said, go ahead. And I understood it after I did it, but it took a little while. But that was toolboxes. With other stuff, people want to trade in things all the time. They'll say things like, "Oh man, can I trade in this ratchet?" Or I got this old scanner. Can I trade it in? towards something else, thinking that they'll be getting so much money they can just like do an even swap, and it doesn't work that way. So that is when you're really going to have to rely on your experience and knowing what a fair market value is for something. If somebody said to me, "Hey, man, I want to trade this in. Can I do that?" I'd have to immediately know within a very short time how much money I think I could sell this for, right?
At
And
this
then I'd
point,
have to
now you're a pawn shop.
correct. And there's nothing wrong with that, but you just have to understand how the numbers work. I just have to, first of all, I have to know, is there a market for this tool? Like if somebody says, "Can I trade this Snap-on 3/4 air impact?" The first thing I thought was, who wants one, right? And so let's say I feel that there's a good market for it. Okay, I'll see what the fair market value is. I'll start Googling it. I'll look on eBay. I'll look on what the used version of these tools are going for, and I'll get this range. Then I have to back down off of that because I have to make money on the sale. So I can offer somebody the trade value. I can't offer them the fair market value. And when I tell people that, they usually get disappointed because someone's going to want to get $1,000 in trade on this air impact. That's not going to happen.
No, I get that. I totally get that, but it's just none of the. I wouldn't say back 20 years ago. Yeah, easy. I always used to see trucks that had boxes of tools that were traded or a shelf for trading tools. I haven't seen a tool in 4 years on a truck that's like, oh, this is for trading. One guy was selling some tools on a consignment, but that was it. Roscoe, if he trades in a box, he won't even put that box on his truck. He sells those trading boxes through Instagram.
That's interesting. I mean, I could see why he would do it, but
he does
everybody's got
a lot of boxes. In his little storage unit, say he has 3 trading boxes, he probably has 6 boxes ready to go on whenever he sells one.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, Snap-on, if they do anything really well, they sell toolboxes like crazy. And that's where they have advantage over a lot of other tool trucks, is their credit programs are easy to get into and their boxes are excellent. So they can sell a ton of boxes where the rest of us really can't or don't. And I'm happy to not sell boxes. I'll leave that to Snap-on. But I'm happy to take used boxes on because I'll do that. But usually what I do is I'll offer to do it on consignment. And the deal is that I'll make with people, just to keep it fair, is you give me the box. We're going to agree upon a price that I think I can get you for this box. But that means that I have to be able to sell it for more. And I'm not going to disclose what I sell the box for. And I'm not going to disclose to the people who buy the box what I'm going to give the owner for. Those are confidential pieces of information that I make sure everyone understands up front. And the reason for that is because I've been approached by guys that'll say things like, "Hey man, can you sell this box for me? I only want like $1,000 for it." I'll think I can get $3,000 for that box. Sure. Right. That's profit for me. And if that's all that they want, I'm happy to do that. If I think I can get that, yeah, and that's a price that you named. So I'm fine doing that.
Have you ever taken a box on trade, or even like you just said, where you'll buy it for $1,000 and you can sell it for more and sell it at the same shop, where it's one of the other techs like, "Oh, dude, how much you want for that box? You just sold."
I've done that twice actually. Yeah, I didn't
really.
Have to roll,
that's interesting.
I didn't have to roll it onto the truck, and it worked out pretty well. In fact, the last time I did that was a guy at Capital Metro had this really nice, I think it was a Cornwell, one of the carts with the power drawers on it, and he and I worked out a deal. And I think he won $1,000 for it, and I know that you can probably sell the box for $1,800 or $200 or $2,000. So I said, "Yeah, sure, I'll take it." So I wheeled it out to the truck, and I was going to wait till I was done that night to lower the lift gate and put it on before I drove away. So I had the thing sitting out by the door of the truck, and someone jumps on the truck and says, "Do you have any used carts?" I said, "Let me show you."
A nice Cornwell power drawer.
I said, "How about this one?" And we worked out a deal real quick, and I wheeled it right back in the shop. And
that is hilarious.
Oh, those are great. I love those deals. They don't happen very often. They're fun when they do.
Otherwise, I know if you get a cart, all you really have to do is drive the casting shop, because he'll probably buy the cart from you, right?
That's true. There are some guys who are, right away, I'm I did that with a Snap-on cart. The guy said, "Hey, man, do you think you can sell this for me?" I'm like, "I know I can sell this for you." Drive down the road to Cash Shop. I'm rolling it off the gas because he wanted it.
Yeah, but I don't hold on to anything very long.
Yeah.
I'm still rocking my.
Did I pause again? My
For a
internet
second.
No,
sucks.
you're good.
You did for a second.
No,
Unless you
I
were just
hate my internet.
real
It's
super still
killing
when
me.
Lindsay and I were talking.
I'm not. My internet sucks. I got to get it fixed before we start doing football again because that's
Oh,
be
yeah.
kind of hard being the host and being missing.
What internet service do you use?
We have Spectrum or Charter Spectrum.
That's what I use.
Yeah, but I think I don't know. I'm not an IT guy, but I think it's the box that produces the internet for the house is overloaded with all the devices that are probably running. My daughter probably has like 12 devices running right now. She's like,
That
using the phone, the tablet, the TV, probably another tablet, probably 2 more phones. You're just like, hey, can you stop?
I think I upgraded to the highest you can go before you go business internet. It used to be called Roadrunner by Spectrum, I think, or something like that. And that helped because there's only 3 of us
Time
here.
Warner Roadrunner.
Yeah, it was the Time Warner. Maybe it was the Time Warner get bought out by Spectrum.
I don't know. It changes names all the time.
There's only 3 of us, but even right now, I can hear the interviews from the Celtic game. I know my wife's upstairs on probably watching a movie while she's on her phone and has her iPod. Yeah, I said iPod, not pad. Her iPod going for a little game she's playing. My son's going to be doing his PlayStation thing, and so it does slow it down.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, no, it sucks. I gotta figure it out. I'm gonna explain to them what I want. I want internet that I don't care if I have a professional video game conference going on in my living room. I can still live stream something.
Yeah.
Well, I need to do that. Connect the dots. Let's go. What are we doing?
Make it happen.
Here they come. Game just ended, and I'm already getting my text. Come on, we're up 3-1. leave us alone. We're up 3-1. We're up 3-1. Wait.
You're not worried, I can tell. You're like,
Dude,
No.
is this the last game in Dallas, or they have one more game in Dallas?
We go back to Boston on Monday, and then then if there's a game 6, it would be in Dallas, and a game 7 would be in Boston. But it's ended on Monday.
I don't think it'll be over on Monday. I think
you
lose that game 4, so you get home, win it at home.
Yeah. Come on, we pulled our starters with 8 minutes left in the third quarter. Yeah.
Oh man, the only people that are mad are people that put money on the game.
I didn't put money on the game. I put money on player stats. Which is almost the same thing. So when they pulled the starters, I was like, oh, dang. Oh, well, double up on Monday, right?
Yep. Now it counts.
Well, Brian's got some interesting input on trade and how he handles stuff. He's got a policy that he uses for toolbox trades. He gives you what I will sell it for. For example, I got a 2 bay value to $2,500. That's what you get, and that's what I'm selling it for. Fair enough. And all those trades go on eBay, unless it's Matco. Yeah, I get it. And Sammy says that he remembers trucks having a section for traded tools. You just don't see that. Yeah, I will take a lot of things in on trade, but a lot of guys aren't trading stuff in right now. I got a couple of things on the truck. I'm doing a consignment sale on Cass's Snap-on hood light. I took a trade on a code reader.
Corded hood light. Let's be specific on this. And
yes, you Snap-on
I
corded.
probably should tell why I'm trading it. No, we're just not going to say anything.
Works like a champ.
Yeah, it's all brand new.
It is.
I bought a Matco under hood light about 2.5 years ago. It was expensive too. It was like $300, and I used it for about a year, but I never really liked it. And we got a new tech. This is at the old shop, and he came in and he was like, I was selling some tools, some stuff that I had upgraded on or had triples of, because he was like, "Oh, what do you got?" It only came up because this guy showed up with a cart, nice old Matco cart, but he had no tools, and I was like, "Dude, I can help you out a little bit, but I'm not going to give you tools, but I have stuff that I can help you out with." And I looked like one of those dudes who shows up with a pickup truck. And I showed up with my little pickup with tools in the back, and he was looking at everything, but he's like, "How much you want for that under hood light?" And my buddy's like, "Dude, you just bought that under hood light." And I was like, "Yeah, I know. I really don't like it though." And I said, "Man, that thing was expensive, man. I'll sell you that for $280." And I paid about $300 or whatever for it. And he said, "Yeah, I'll take that." And he took the under hood light. So after I had it for a year, I lost like $20 on it. That was pretty cool. And then I had a bunch of Capri tools that I had bought when they first came out, or when I first started seeing them. I'm no kidding. When did Capri come out? 3, 4, 5 years ago, something like that. And I bought a bunch of stuff from them. No kidding. Probably like $2,500, maybe $3,000 worth of tools from them. And they started working with someone that I despise. So I said, I'm done with them. And I had all that stuff in there. He bought a bunch of that stuff, and I gave some stuff to my godson too. I was just like, I'm done with them. I even gave him
your Matco light that you sold. Was that the one that had the 3 lights in it?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I had the same one. Lindsay sold it for me.
You don't like it either?
No, it broke. I got it fixed, and as soon as I got it fixed, I told Lindsay, I go, I'm trading that damn thing in. And he sold it like the next day because it was brand new.
A week, maybe a couple months after I got rid of it. Snap-on sells a really nice one, a really thin bar that I wanted, but I don't know why I didn't pull the trigger on it. And then one day I was talking to Harry. You know what? I probably needed it. It was probably getting dark, and I needed the shop light doesn't always. The shop I'm at, it doesn't have great lighting, so I probably just needed it right there. I was like, damn, I need a light. And Harry was there, and I bought another light from Harry, and I have that one now. But this one's one where it's just like one big giant bar that you can slide around, and it articulates. It even disconnects and has a magnet, and it's good. But it doesn't last very long. But the good thing is you can run it while it's charging. So
I bought a Milwaukee underhood light from Lindsay. I also have another Snap-on underhood light. The only thing I like about the Milwaukee one is it seems like when you run the smaller batteries, it doesn't last very long. But
you ever use that Milwaukee, not underhood light? I guess it's called I don't really know what it's called, but it's meant for like under the vehicle, like when it's on a rack.
Robert had one.
It articulates, and it looks like a pretty cool light. I don't have any Milwaukee tools, but I've been really close a couple times to pulling the trigger on that just because it looks interesting.
I assume he still has it. I mean, unless he's struck hard times. I don't know.
He loved it. He's the only one I know that's ever owned one, and I'd never put one on the truck because it was kind of expensive.
They are expensive.
And I really couldn't see someone saying, "Oh yeah, man, I got to have this for whatever the price tag was on it."
There you go. James said it's the underbody light. All right.
Yes.
Yeah, it was over $300. It was like 300. I want to say it was like $380.
Yeah.
At that point, I've got some lights that you can, small lights that just articulate forward and backwards, almost like a fan that you can throw under a vehicle if you need light for that price.
Yeah. Yep. But we're good. I've used it. It was all right. It wasn't bad.
The thing about Milwaukee's lighting is I tend to shy away from them because the lights are handled by a different division of the company that handles their power tools. And they're much more difficult to work with if you need a warranty taken care of.
They run on the same batteries.
They do. But their lighting is considered a personal lighting product. It's not considered a professional tool. So where I can very easily handle a repair for a Milwaukee light, it's a completely different process.
Personal light. Yeah, I'm going to put an under body light as my EDC. EDC. Come on.
Right, where I can very easily handle a repair for a tool, it's very difficult for light. I don't enjoy doing it. It takes a long time. As a
What do they
result, I
call
try
those
to
things on Star Wars? The fucking lightsaber.
Yeah.
Come on, I've never seen Star Wars before, so you can cut me a bit of slack.
Yeah.
Yes, Brian, the one with the puck light with the bar, that's the one I got.
Yes, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, 600 body light.
Yeah, I broke the edge, so I sold it. But no, if something becomes a problem, I usually get rid of it. So
yeah, and if I can imagine something becoming a problem that can't be easily solved, I won't carry it. I don't want to deal with it. If I can't make it easy for you,
if I'm not using something like roll cards, like if I the text, it's holding papers down. Come on.
Yeah.
But I mean, like even like roll cards. So if I have a roll card that's just sitting around, and I have any tools in it, I haven't used it, I'll sell it. I'll get rid of it right away.
Sure.
I just offered you guys. I don't know if you guys are familiar with. I know you know him, but if you watch his videos, Justin Dow. But
yeah.
I've met up with him a couple times and we've hung out. He's a cool dude, man. I mean, I know I wish he wasn't such an open book, because he gets ridiculed a lot. But he's a cool guy. But he's struggling right now at this new shop he started at, and I've got a Mac single drawer. You know those when roll carts were just roll carts before they became little toolboxes years ago, and it's just got the 4 wheels, the top tray, the bottom tray, and one drawer.
Yep.
And I've got one of those with keys. It's a Mac one, and I said, dude, man, it's yours if you want it, dude. I'll deliver it. Just tell me you want it. Go bad. I mean, I think that would help him out a little bit. Like you said, Cass, it's just sitting there right now. Right now, all it has is like if I don't even know what it's got. It's basically like when a treadmill becomes a coat rack in your bedroom.
It takes about a week.
If we walked about 15 feet that way, we'd see what my treadmill is doing right now.
Well, that's what that Mac card is in my garage. It's just whenever, like tools that I don't want to put away, anything. It could be anything. It's just got a bunch of junk on it.
Oh, ding, 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 ladies and gentlemen. Shannon Dickinson, $5 super chat. Shannon, thank you so much. I really do appreciate that.
Dude, I tried earlier. I attempted to. It may come through later. You might get end up being like $50 because I was trying to send you $10 with that question with the comment about JD Tico hating on Snap-on. It would just buffer, and then it would kick me out. I tried like 4 or 5 times. So if you get $50 with the same question later, that was for me. It won't. I tried, but it won't let me send it though.
I have to refund you $40 if that comes in.
We'll have to send them some Milwaukee tools. That way you can own some Milwaukee tools.
I had the little pocket knife that they sell. Not the pocket knife.
I think you sent it to me, didn't you? Or was that Joey that sent me the pocket knife?
No, I think Joey sent you that one. I had that utility knife, but I have a little utility knife collection from like a tool company utility knife, and my godson. Well, you guys have heard me talk about him a lot. He works on stuff too, and he's like one of those guys who will walk around with a single razor blade. I'm gonna say, dude, I'm gonna go pick one, whichever one you want. And he picked the Milwaukee one. He's like, oh, I'll pick a different one. I said, take it. He's like, no. He's like, I'll get a different one. I said, dude, just take it. He ended up taking that one. Hey, have you guys seen the new DeWalt pocket knives and utility knives?
No.
Yeah, I saw them on I forget what channel I was watching, a YouTube channel where he reviewed them, and they're not real expensive. I think there's 4 different ones. I think they range between like $14 to $18 or something like that. It's a pretty. I own a couple of DeWalt pocket knives that I bought at Home Depot, and I think they're great. They're nothing fancy, but they work fine, and I like them. What I really like is when you have the clip on the pocket knife. When you can put it in your pocket and it goes all the way in and all you see is the clip. That's how they are. I don't know what that's called. Versus when you put the pocket knife in and about this much of the pocket knife sticks out of your pocket.
Yeah.
I like them, but it's a pretty good knife. Speaking of knives, I lost a knife at the Dodger game last Sunday.
Oh man.
Yeah.
They make you take it off and.
Oh, dude, I wasn't. If they would have, I would have given it to them. But when we were getting there, I said, "Oh man, my brother and everybody, they were like, oh man, you're gonna make us walk back." I said, "Dude, I'm not gonna make us walk back to the car. I'll just give it to him. I don't care." It was when I got off the Cornwall truck. It was cool. It had an American flag and stuff on it. Probably $20, $15, I don't know. But I took it out of my pocket as you walking through the metal detector. They tell you to raise your hands. I'm holding it. I'm palming it, and I raise my hands so my body goes through the metal detector and it's above them. Walk right in.
I've stuck mine in my keys before, and they've just like bypassed it. But
Oh, that's
the last time I
cool.
went to a Spurs, the last time I went to a Spurs game, I had a pocket knife, and I had to walk back and put it in the car. Oh,
I've
see,
lost
I
one at
told
Magic
you.
Mountain before. I had a snap on one that was given to me that they weren't letting me in with it, and I was no way I was gonna walk through. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Magic Mountain. It's an amusement park, and
Yeah, it's like Disney
it
World,
was
right? Or
yeah,
Disneyland.
exactly. It was a walk, so I walked over to a bush, and I just kind of like put it where I can come back after. I made sure nobody was watching me. Apparently, somebody was like low key watching me. And they must have got out of Magic Mountain before I did, because when I got there to that bush, man, I was even digging too. I was like, and I was like, I told you it wasn't gonna be there. We should have just taken it back.
Oh, it's a NASCAR race. You know, like they tell you all the stuff you can bring in and all the stuff you can't. They're like, and like you're like you can only bring like you can't bring any outside food or anything. And so I think it wasn't this last year. It was I think it was the not the year before either, because the last or it wasn't this past. It wasn't this race this season. It wasn't last season because I was in Virginia. But the race before, we smuggled in so much shit. I mean, like when we walked up there and the guy opened our bag, he looked down, they looked at us, they looked down, they looked at us. He goes, "Okay, here you go." Just sent us right through. He was like, "I'm not even touching this thing." It was so bad. I mean, we had like food and all kinds of. It reminded me of like when my parents used to go to the movies when we were kids, and they'd smuggle in like Wendy's, and I go, "Everybody here knows you have Wendy's. You know, like it's not a mystery."
You can smell it the second you unwrap it. Everyone
Oh
knows.
yeah, I mean, like like my stepmom had this like big ass purse, and they'd walk in and she'd sit down and she'd hand my dad his like hamburger and his fries, and he's over there eating his hamburger and his fries, and I'm like, I can smell this. I mean, like without a problem. My stepmom's like, "Oh no no no!" And then one time we thought we were gonna be slick, and so we snuck in like beer, and one of my beer bottles fell over, and you could hear it roll from the top all the way to the bottom. And everybody knows what a glass bottle sounds like rolling. There's not
That's
a
a
sound.
distinctive sound.
Yeah, nothing else sounds like a beer bottle rolling down in a movie theater, and you can hear everybody laughing, and I'm just there like, "Shit, it's just me and my wife at the top row." Of course, everybody knows where it came from. Like,
Oh shoot! It went from the top all the way down. Oh
oh,
no!
yeah, and it didn't hit anything. I was surprised. Like, you're just gonna
What are
hear
the
this thing
odds?
break. And you can hear it just roll the whole way. Now, so it's not like one of the newer movie theaters where you like walk in like at the midsection, like where you can walk down or you can walk up. You know, like the movie theater that we go to, it's got like one of those ones where you can kind of split and go high or low. This was one of those ones where you just walk into the bottom. And so I always sit in the very back because like if somebody comes nosing around and give me time to slide some beer under somebody else's chair, and you can hear the thing go just rolling down there. I'm like, oh no.
I got kicked out of my cousin likes the Bears, and when the Chargers were in San Diego, they came to town. So we my wife and I, my cousin and his girlfriend went to go see the Bears and the Chargers. And my wife and his girlfriend snuck about, I'm gonna guess it was 8, maybe even 12. Probably not 12. That's a lot because my cousin doesn't drink beer. I will say 6, 8 beers of Miller Lite in their purses, and got him into the stadium. And I was on the last one when the security kind of walked to the seats, and they called me out. And I finished it, and they're like, "Oh man!" And you can see the beer cans underneath the seats. They're like, we gotta come with us. And so I walked with them, and they put me in, I guess, Charger jail. And I'm sitting there, and my wife was there. She was my girlfriend then, but she comes up, and then my cousin and his girlfriend come up, and they're like, "All right, we're going to kick you out of the stadium for today. If you come back in today, you're kicked out for life, and we'll call the cops. If you just wait in the parking lot or go home, you're fine." So my cousins, this is like probably before halftime, and my cousin's like, "Well, we want to just leave." I said, "Nah, dude, I don't care." I'm like, "You like the Bears, not me." I'm like, "Just give me the keys, and I said, I'll just wait for you at the car." So I walk out to the car without the keys, and I'm sitting there leaning on the car. And then about 5 minutes later, I guess my dawn on my wife. She's like, "Oh, he doesn't have the keys, and I don't care about the game either." And she walked out with the keys, and we were just kind of hanging out for the rest of the game. But it was pretty funny that I was in charge of jail for about 20 minutes. And I was just sitting there chilling, man. There were some dudes in there that were way more inebriated than I was.
Oh, man. What is it? What did Brian say here? Episode of South Park.
I hate that. You right?
Man, I haven't seen
I haven't
South Park
seen
in a long
South Park.
time.
This is 1998
I
or 99.
watched.
I watched the first season of South Park, but I never watched it again. Not because I didn't like it. I just don't have time.
It was very good for years, and then the two guys who created it, Trey Parker and Matt Stone, got a $500 million multi-year deal to make shows and content and stuff. And part of that deal was they had to change Cartman, and he is now a very woke character. He's not the irredeemable guy he used to be, which was fun. I mean, he was a good character years ago, but they changed him, unfortunately. Now it's no longer fun.
Oh.
I don't like it anymore.
They got
My favorite was whenever
people like the show so much that they gave him $500 million to keep doing it as long as you change the show. That doesn't make any sense.
It's not the first time. It happened. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Another great show, full of irredeemable characters, hilarious. And then all of a sudden, there's this big woke season. Like season 13 did it for me. Like everyone's woke now. I'm like, what's the?
I've only seen one. Come on, Danny DeVito's the most woke person in the world. Like, are you kidding?
His characters weren't though. They had really good characters.
The funniest part though is whenever he was like, "Oops, I dropped my monster condom for my Magnum dong." when they were trying to pick up that chick.
I watched a few, probably maybe like season 2, 3, and 4, 4, 5, and 6, something like that. I watched a few seasons of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, but that was one of the shows that changed dates. You know, once a show changes a date, it like one of my favorite shows when it came out was The Big Bang Theory, but I don't know what day they went from Mondays to Thursdays or something like that. Now I see it on reruns here and there, but my wife said, "You didn't see that episode?" I'm like, I didn't see probably like the last 5 seasons. I don't know.
Yeah,
dude, I finally finished watching Better Call Saul.
Oh my god! And the last two
within the last 2 months. In the last 2 months, I finally finished it.
That is.
It just takes a while because I just don't have a lot of free time.
That's a problem. Exactly.
And now the Walter White movie's coming out, so I'm like, oh man, I don't know if I have like 3 hours to sit down and watch a movie.
Better Call Saul. Better Call Saul might be my favorite show ever. It might have surpassed The Shield, but both of those shows kind of. The Shield ended okay, but they killed off my favorite character, and then Better Call Saul, man, the way it ended, he kind of. I don't know. I think they could have done a little bit better.
Oh, I like the self-sabotage. I thought it was pretty good.
That's the part that bothered me, the self-sabotage. Oh, man.
Oh, well. But I don't know. It's good. It was man, I was just disappointed it ended. You know, that was the worst thing about it.
My oldest sister
is Butthead.
My oldest sister's way behind the times, and she asked Kathy and me the other night. She says, "Did you guys ever watch Sons of Anarchy?" I said, "Yeah, it was a great show. We love that show." She says, "I just saw the first episode." Like, she says, "I'm hooked." I'm like, "Yeah, it's worth it. Watch it."
I know one of the characters. Well, I don't know one of the characters. I met one of the characters from Sons of Anarchy. I've never seen the show. But whenever I met him,
Which character?
I think his name was Juice. Does that sound right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
The Puerto
Okay.
Rican.
So
Yeah.
so when I meet him, so he's buying a house from one of my customers, and I had a bunch of stuff stored at this guy's house, so I got to go pick it up. And so we're there one day. I'm loading some stuff up, and he shows up. Him and his wife are coming to look at the house, and he goes, the guy that owned the house was like, "Yeah, hey, this is so and so. I can't remember what his name is." And he says, "He's an actor." I go, "Stage or screen?" Anything I've ever seen? I didn't know. I didn't know who it was.
You don't know.
And so he started. He thought it was funny too. I was like, "I fucking no clue who you are. If you'd have walked up to me, I'd be like, ah, sweet, you're just another dude." It happens. I met somebody the other day that was like famous, and I was like, "What are you famous for?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm a Twitch streamer." I'm like, "I don't even know what that is. You can be famous?"
No, that doesn't count.
Yeah,
What is
I
Twitch?
don't know.
What is Twitch? Is that like Snapchat or something like that?
I don't know. Maybe I still haven't figured it out yet.
I don't know.
I gotta remember their name too. It's like a curse, you know what I mean? We're just sitting there like, I'm not sure. What are you famous for? It gets me thinking about something I was thinking about earlier today. That is so funny. So do either one of y'all like art?
Art?
Art, you know, like
What
paintings.
form? Paintings?
That's what I was thinking about.
I like
What
Bob
is your
Ross.
what is your least favorite form of art, Lindsay?
Least favorite
Are
who?
we talking like a general category or specific style of a category? Like
Style of a category.
hip hop music.
Oh, no, I'm not talking about music. Talk about art.
Oh,
Come on.
painting.
Yeah.
I don't like any painting, and this is gonna rub some artists the wrong way. I understand, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I don't like paintings that look like anybody could do them. I want to be able to appreciate the skill and the
We're talking
artistry.
about folk art, Lindsay.
I'm talking like taking like cans of paint and throwing them onto a canvas or splattering canvas with the paper.
Yeah, abstract
I
art is
take that over
ridiculous.
folk
Anybody
art.
can put a canvas out and start splattering paint.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I've heard the argument.
Jackson Pollock.
I used to work with people who did paintings and photography and stuff. And this conversation cropped up, and I was in on it. I didn't say a whole lot. I was really interested in listening, and the artist people got really incensed. Like, yeah, but just because you could do it, but you're not doing it, and that's the point. I'm like, well, but I could, right? I mean, if I bought a canvas and some paint, I could, right? And I don't know that we notice a difference. I could do it. I don't do it.
So I don't like folk art. I really don't like folk art. And we have like a couple people that are customers, and they're always like trying to sell me this shit, and you're just like, look, I'm not paying anything for this. I don't want it. You don't have to give it to me because I don't want it. I'm not going to put it up in my house because I don't like it. You know, like I have like a couple paintings in the house. Like there's one like right here, and that was made by, you know, it's like this Western. It's a deer, right? Like, see, boom. If you can see, it's a deer.
Yeah, it's cool.
And the guy that did it is evidently he's famous. I don't know who it is. I paid $50 for it at a silent auction. So I was like, hey, it looks pretty cool. I'll put in a bid, $50. And I won it. And so then when I won it, they gave me a guilt trip because I didn't pay hardly anything. I'm like, well, fucking somebody should outbid me.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
But I don't like shit. Like, there was a guy that used to go to Lloyd's, and he had like this. He's like, oh, this painting, we'll sell it. We'll give you a substantial discount. We'll sell it to you for $10,000. I go, is it the original? And they go, no, it's a print. I'm like, I'm paying you fucking $10 for this thing. I don't want it. I mean, like, you haven't cut an ear off. You didn't kill anybody. You haven't done anything great. I mean, like, it's folk art. It's shitty fucking art that you're just over here trying to pass off as art. I'm like, no. You know, I have a reprint of A Starry Night right here on the wall. Just like when you pick up at, like, you know, Garden Ridge or Your Home Now or whatever it's called. And it's like one of my favorite paintings. You know, like it's there to piss people off. Like, oh, is that an original? Really? Do you think my middle class suburban home? Do you think I have a fucking original Starry Night in it? You're like, come on. let's think about it for a second. Like, honestly, you think I just like do you think I went to the Louvre and just picked this motherfucker up or what? Like, oh, I'll take that. It looks good. Take a check. Ah, sweet.
Perfect. We want to make them up
Oh
too.
man, it's so great. What's that?
I mean, we don't have much in the way of paintings. We have mostly photographs of like along this wall here. We got 3 portraits from my wife's grandparents' weddings. That's kind of cool. We had them framed up and stuff, and they look really nice. We have other family photos and stuff, but we don't have like paintings or artwork from other
Dude,
people.
I have my daughter's art on the wall before I would buy folk art. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
It's like one of those things.
we got some abstract paintings that my 5-year-old granddaughter made on the fridge.
There you go. Let's see what else. And then we have like all the typical, like live, laugh, love shit on the wall. You're just like, ah. Oh man, I just want to throw that shit in the trash every time I see it. It's like, oh, it's only covering a hole in the wall I put there.
I'm looking around. We've got one. What do you call those? Easel? Is that what the painters used to paint?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a tiny little miniature one with a painting my son must have done when he was, I don't know, 4 or 5 years old. That's the only thing that we have up. Before we had that fire, I know it was a photograph, but the texture almost felt like it was painted, but it was the Beatles, that famous picture of the Abbey Road where the 4 of them are crossing Abbey Road. We had that up.
Yeah.
And I had the only piece of sports memorabilia that I haven't up displayed was a baseball card on a plaque, and it was Steve Garvey. That used to be my
You had a
favorite player.
Dodger on your wall.
Yeah, like I said, I became an Astro fan like in 2004 or 2000, not 2000, 1984 or 1983. My mom, single parent, took us to a game, and we were watching the Dodgers because my whole family likes the Dodgers. And this dude in the outfield was sitting in the bleachers with us. He was out there saying, "Oh man, the Express is on. The Ryan Express." He kept saying that the whole game. And I went and asked him, "What are you talking about? What's the Express?" And he's like, "Look." And Noel Ryan would throw a pitch. He was like, "Look," it was like 102, 101. He's like, "Man, that's how hard he's throwing. Nobody in baseball throws like this guy." And I'm like, "Oh, dude, that's cool, man." I was just watching him. And from that day forward, I was a Astros fan. Before that, I remember as a little kid, my mom, I kind of vaguely remember, but like being in kindergarten, telling my mom, "Why didn't you name me Steve?" Because I wanted to be Steve Harvey.
Think how weird Steve Santa Cruz sounds.
It does. I got a chance to meet him though. There's an Indian casino out here by my house that he was. They had a date for him where him and I think it was Oral Hershiser. They had a couple guys that went on stage and they spoke with them and they had a dinner.
Fernando Valenzuela.
No, it wasn't Fernando. I would remember that.
Has that guy ever paid for a meal in Los Angeles?
I doubt it, dude. Fernando Mania.
Him and Tommy Lasorda are probably eating for free everywhere, huh?
Dude, I absolutely guarantee. Yeah, guarantee you, man. Fernando Mania lives and Kirk Gibson Mania.
Yeah. I told y'all about my goddamn, what was that guy's name? Why am I drawing a blank here? My Mike Schmidt story, right? So when I was a kid, we'd go to the San Antonio Missions, and so he's making like a rehab start for whatever team he's playing on. They're visiting, and so Mike Schmidt walks up and he just blasts I think he goes like 4 or 5, and he hits like 4 home runs that game. And he blasts these things like into they're hitting the drainage ditch outside of the center field. I mean, he is just absolutely crushing these hits. And so I caught the first one he had. So he was like, "Hey, I'll trade you this ball for this ball. This is a signed ball. I just want my first rehab home run or whatever." I'm like, "All right, that's fine." He was kind of a prick, but yeah, I mean, this guy's like, you could tell the difference between guys that were going to be like, maybe make it to the MLB, and then this guy was just crushing, just over just killing it. I was like, I've never seen anybody hit like that before.
I go to a lot of single A too, but a lot of minor league baseball games because they're 10 minutes from my house. It's fun, it's a live sporting event. And I went to go see the team is the 66ers, but they were playing the Quakes. And that's the Angels and Dodgers teams. And this is when Corey Seager was just coming up. Man, it took me two at bats. And I told my buddy Jimmy, he passed away now. I used to go see the games with him. I'm like, dude, this dude's going to be a major leaguer. This dude's for real. Corey Seager, I mean, he was a man among boys, and he was probably only 20 years old when he was there. But you could just tell that dude was better than everyone else.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't been. So we have the Round Rock Express. I think they're a feeder team for the Astros. I've never been to an Express game before. They switch between the Astros and the Rangers. Like every couple of years, they're the feeder team for one or the other. Never been, but I've been to a couple Astros games. So
division now. They need one Texas team in the AL. I hate that they're in the same division. The Astros should be in the NL. Yeah. That way, what? Maybe it could be an All Texas World Series or something like that.
Well, they did that because that was part of the deal of the sale. Major League Baseball made them switch.
I remember that when
divisions because they wanted to get even amount of teams in the divisions, and so you can remember the NL Central used to have 5 teams and everybody else had 4. And so then whenever Jim Crane bought the Astros from Drayton McLean, Bud Selig. Was it Bud Selig? No, it wasn't Bud Selig. It was the current MLB commissioner made them switch. And it was all like if they didn't agree to do the switch, they wouldn't be able to do the sale.
No, I remember that because the MLB paid part of he told them, like, you're selling him for $1 billion. We'll pay $300 million of that when you buy the team switch. I remember that. But what I don't get is that a couple of years later, they put Milwaukee in the NL. Why not put the Astros back in the NL?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, if you have a question, I can answer.
Related question from Brian asking if I've sold any of the Milwaukee trimmer blower combos this quarter. No, and I had a customer show me. I had a customer show me in your flyer the combos in there. Like, oh man, I had that available to me. It just wasn't publicized like your flyer was. But he already bought it. And I'm fine with it. He already had a high balance with me, so I'm happy not tacking something else onto it. So he bought it from the Mako guy. But those are particularly good deals.
Hey, speaking of high balance guys, did you see that comment I put in way earlier? I was thinking on the stream yet, where after someone said something about paying $2,000 for a socket ratchet set or a wrench set. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, that's probably what retail is. But I think I said something to the point of people that are on the trucks paying that price. It's probably because they skate by, they skip out on the truck when he comes into town or next week. There you go, right there. Snap-on has sales just like everyone else. If you pay full retail, that says something about you as a customer, meaning you miss payments or disappear on payment day, skate by with $10 payments. Do you think there's some truth to that? Like, are you going to give someone a deal if that's the kind of customer they are?
I won't. No, and I'd be surprised if Brian does too, or if Pat does. We absolutely play favorites in this industry, and if people don't think that, then they're naive. And if they wonder why they're not getting the deal someone else is getting, you have to look at the quality of the customer that you are. I have a guy asking me, he's owed me money for a long time, always had a reason why he couldn't make his payments. We agreed on $70 a week. It hasn't happened, right? So weeks will go by. Hey, man, you got to make a payment. And his shop is kind of out of the way. And at the time, he's the only one in the shop that I had on the books. So, unless he makes his payments, I can't afford the fuel to go see him, right? And now you have to have an uncomfortable conversation about, hey, man, I want to buy something. Sorry, man, you haven't been paying your account. You pay me money and I'll show up again. So he's dropped me a text the other day.
I know where this is.
Just started paying again. He just started saying, hey, man, I got some warranty stuff.
We'll talk about this on the truck.
We'll talk about that more when you make your payments. All right, let's get your balance knocked down. Show me that you can uphold your end of the bargain, and I'll uphold my end. So that does happen.
I know what you mean,
I
man.
mean, you don't want your $7.41 and some pocket lint. It's not worth the
God, I got guys. Oh, jeez.
23 extra seconds to drive out there.
I am talking about a different shop, but still, that is the same kind of. That's why I like a DJ comes over. I'm like, those guys would pay. I'd happily go, but Jesus, you gotta pay for what you buy. The rules aren't different because you're
buy a lot.
I bought
no, but so what? Doesn't matter. I mean, there's. Yeah, you don't. Now the criteria for you is different for everyone else. That's our problem. Favorites. You absolutely have your favorites, and you have people that you will see no matter what, and you will bend over backwards for. And that's not. You're in a different category.
Yeah, I'm special.
There was a sale on the truck once, or a promotion. I wouldn't call it a sale. Or if you bought the one of 2 or 3 different air impacts, it's telling you it's been a while, you would get this badass snap-on jacket. And I remember when I saw that, I was like, son of a gun. It was, just say it was the February. In January, last week of January, I bought that impact. So I was like kind of bummed out. I was like, man, that sucks. But I was just on the truck and I said, how much for the jacket, man? He's like, I'm not selling the jackets. I said, come on, dude, I'll pay you whatever. I just want to buy one of those jackets. I think it's a cool jacket. And he's like, dude, I got customers. He said, let me talk to you after everyone's done. And I was like, oh, dude, what's up with that? So when everybody was off the truck and I was leaving, he's like, hold on a second, hold on. I'm like, what's up? He's like, dude, I know you just bought that impact. That's in the promotion now. He's like, here, I put one aside for you. And he gave me a jacket. And I was like, oh, dude, that is freaking cool, man.
They just sold a snap-on jacket on Lindsay's truck, like in the middle of summer.
That was weird. Yeah, you had a heated jacket. So Cass gave me a few
heated jackets.
Well, they gave me what earlier? You gave me during the winter, and they sold pretty quick. And then you had a heated jacket. People weren't biting on the heated jacket, and then just sold a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean, Lindsay's like, "Hey, you have a truck credit." I'm like, "What? How did I get a truck credit?" And he goes, "I sold the jacket." I'm like, "The fuck you sold the jacket? It's 115 outside. Who bought it?" And this jacket you can't wear in Texas. I mean, like even if the ice storm was happening, you couldn't wear it because it's too hot. You could have walked across the Arctic Circle with this jacket and not have to turn the battery on. It's so hot.
Really warm jacket.
Yeah, and I bought it because I didn't understand how thick it was whenever I bought it because I got it on eBay, and I was trying to replace because I have a heated snap-on jacket, but it's just falling apart, and so I went to replace it. So I bought this one, and I'm like, holy crap, this thing is thick. I mean, it's like you don't even turn the battery on. I'm like, shit. And it's what size truck that. What's that?
What size jacket you wear for like snap-on jackets? What size do you wear?
Well, that's kind of in between size right now because usually it's a 2X. That's what I like to wear. That way I can.
So are you in between 2 and 3 or 2 and 1?
No, not well. Now it's going down. It's between 2 and 1.
Oh, that's awesome. That's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
I got a Snap-on 100th anniversary jacket that I probably wore a couple times, but it's in 3X, and I've lost a lot of weight too. So that thing's like.
But I promise you, I couldn't have wore the 2X jacket not too long ago. How many knows? So now I can without a problem.
Well, Sammy just asked me. He bought a used gear wrench, flex head wrench set from me not too long ago, and he's asking, if that's where it came from. Now that was a kid who. Wasn't getting much use out of his flex heads, and he wanted to trade them in. So I said, "Well, it's tough to take a trade on hand tools." I said, "I'll sell them on consignment for you," and then that, like Hash's jacket, when that sold, I just credit his account, so he's got a truck credit he can use now.
But I didn't sell the jacket. I didn't sell the jacket because they didn't do it. I sold the jacket because you can't wear it. It's too hot.
Yeah.
But no, I sold a bunch of stuff. I had a bunch of Snap-on stuff I sold. I don't sell stuff normally that I use. I kind of get rid of stuff that sits, and if it looks like it's going to keep sitting, then I just get rid of it. So.
Yeah.
And I don't sell a lot of hand tools. In fact, I probably don't sell any. Oh, I guess there's like a SK breaker bar that's still on the truck that's never sold.
Yeah,
but I got that. Well, but the weird deal is so I think I bought like a lot of tools, tools that came in a lot, and I picked out what I wanted, and then I think I put everything else on Lindsay's truck and got rid of the rest. I've done that a few times. It's pretty easy because I'm just like, hey, I don't want this stuff. I got all these, and you're like, okay, I'll sell it.
Yeah, might as well.
And they
Turn
sell
it
it to
for money.
somebody else. I'm like, sweet.
Yep. Well, Brian he's got a customer like you guys that he'll do anything for. $100 a week customer calls and he says he needs a pair of Oakleys of a certain style. He calls his dealers in the area. He made the 3-hour trip to go pick up the glasses for the guy. It's what you do. When the business means that much to you, absolutely. You got a really great customer who mean the great customers mean everything to you.
I don't know if I drive 3 hours. I mean, I like it, but I don't know about 3 hours. I did come over to your house on a Sunday one time to pull eggs off your fuel tank. So
Eggs out of your fuel tank?
That wasn't why
No,
you came
not
over.
out.
It was
Oh.
just the benefit of you coming over.
Well, I had to go and I had to help somebody with a wiring problem, which I think I figured out like instantly. Or all I was like, let me pat myself on the back.
Yeah, it didn't take long. Didn't take long.
Nope. Yeah. But yeah, we don't get a lot of seasons
in
here.
Central Texas, Daniel.
We usually have spring and summer, and we usually have summer.
Yeah.
Occasionally, it'll get cold for a day or two.
What is it
Man,
now?
we nailed it.
Is it pretty
Today is
hot?
about 100 degrees.
You guys are hotter. We're still in the 80s.
Yeah, but our deal right now is we have like Africa humidity because it's been raining. Every week it rains a little bit, so it just rains enough to keep the grass green and like the ground moist, and it is like brutal humid. You're just like you just sweat. It doesn't bother me. I don't mind. But
why don't you move closer?
Yeah, we've been having a problem the last 2 years of the aquifer drying up, so we don't get any water because we're on wells. We're on a well here, so we root for the rain as much as we can.
I think we're supposed to get rain next week too. I was kind of surprised. All right, the problem is we need to get like feet of rain.
See, Ryan, see, no one likes an overachiever. He got the glasses for a guy who needed them for a motorcycle ride that weekend, so he got them, but his ride was rained out. Oh man, it's okay. He got the glasses and he made him happy. But that's the name of the game. I mean, how many times do we all complain about the lack of customer service? You call a customer service number for a company, they don't help you. It's rare that you get decent service from anyone. Every now and then it happens, and I'm really stoked when it does. And I don't want to forget who I dealt with.
And I feel personally responsible for everything that happened on our team.
Where you at, Daniel?
I'm jealous.
He said Northeast Texas.
He
Where
said
about, Daniel? What town are you in?
Yeah. Post it
How
up.
far are you
We
guys
may know where you live. What's that?
How far are you guys from Northeast Texas?
3 hours.
We're central. Like,
Yeah.
uh-oh. Did I freeze again? Oh.
Well, it takes 3 hours to get to Dallas. 3.5 hours.
Harris. Oh. Is the nearest large town. He lives in. Yeah, he does live in Northeast Texas.
Oh, okay.
Lindsay's like, I don't know where that is. It's not in France.
Mm.
I have an idea where it is. I think I know. But it rains up there. I mean, like, y'all get rain. Our biggest problems. Our problem with, I'm just going to, I don't know. It's a story for another day. It's too long. I'm going to get too pissed off talking about it. Oh, now we're Google searching here. I can see Lindsay's
Man, I'm looking
working.
at Paris, Texas.
Paris, Texas. You're going to look at notable alumni from
24,000 person population, northeast of Dallas. Okay. Oh, he's tucked up in there, not far from the.
I thought that was a city in like South or North Dakota or something like that. Isn't there a Paris in one of the Dakotas?
Probably. Yeah, he's way up there.
Thanks for joining us from far away.
Yeah, knock on Oklahoma's door.
Buongiorno.
I don't know, how big is Luling? Paris has a 24,000
It's
person
not as
population.
big as Paris. I can promise you that.
I think Luling's probably smaller than that.
Yeah. I can tell you that for sure.
But does
I had a
Paris
friend
have a
that-
claim to fame that Luling does? No, Luling's way smaller. There's 5,600 people in Luling.
Yeah, it's the Chinese community. Luling.
But Luling they have a watermelon seed spitting contest every year.
I've been to it a couple times.
Did you participate?
I used to hang out. We participated in some drinking. Water.
Yeah, I don't want to.
They call it it's the watermelon stomp or something, or watermelon thump. That's what it is. They have like the deal. I think it's coming up. Does Sammy live in Luling?
Yeah, Sammy. When's your watermelon?
Is it
seed
the water?
spitting
It's the
contest?
thump, right? They call it watermelon thump. I think is what they call it. I had a friend growing up. He lived in Prairie Lee, so Sammy knows what that is. It's right next to Luling. We used to go cause mischief in Prairie Lee all the time.
They call it the watermelon thump.
Hey, Cass, I know you always like to hear about this. You probably do too, Lindsay. I just know I can talk to Cass about it a lot. Surfer Dude started a new league for the rec league. Our first game was last Saturday. We kind of drugged the team we played. He had 16 points. He probably had about 8 or 10 steals, a bunch of rebounds, a couple assists. I mean, we won 67-14, and Matthew scored 16, and we had 2 other kids on our team that each scored 15. So we had 3 separate players on our team that outscored the other team.
Holy cow!
Nice.
We played, and they hit me up to coach them. Even though we played phone tag for a while, my first practice was not this Wednesday, but the Wednesday before. And they were switching teams around last minute. So my practice, I only had, not including Matthew, 3 of the kids that were actually going to end up staying on our team. And we got some new kids come Saturday. And I was like, all right. So I just asked everybody right before the game, so who knows how to play a zone? And they all kind of knew how to play a zone. I'm like, all right, well, we're going to play a 3-2. The 2 guys on top double team the ball every time as soon as it crosses that, we can't press, but as soon as it crosses half court, you just double team. And I told the other guys, whenever depending on what way the ball goes, you guys know your areas. And they were killing it, man, just killing it. And I know we're not going to make every shot in every game, but our shots were just falling. I mean, it was just like, man.
Yeah. No. When I was a kid, my mom was our basketball coach, and you're like, oh, that must have sucked. I was like, we were the best team in the league. My mom had to take over because our other coach disappeared. I don't remember what happened, but my mom took over, and I was like, and you think I had to play a lot, but I didn't. My mom, she's like, oh, you're not playing. Sit your ass down. Like, oh, okay. Weird. But I was okay because I was like the tallest kid on the team, so it was it was one of those deals. But that was funny.
Well, speaking of athletic competitions, the last weekend in June since 1954 is the Luling Watermelon Thump. So June 27th through 30th, if you find yourself in the Luling, Texas area, or if you want to make a trip to Luling, Texas, and spit some watermelon seeds for distance, coming up 2 weeks.
They also they have a drinking contest, and then afterwards they piss for distance.
I don't know if that's necessarily true, but I like the idea of it. Biggie Fitz is here. Biggie, thanks for joining us.
What's up, Biggie?
So, Lindsay, you gonna go to the watermelon thump or what?
Probably not.
Oh, come on.
I don't
You
have
got
a good
little
reason
You're
not to
not doing
go.
your homestead channel anymore. You can
No,
do
I'm
your
not.
homestead channel
That didn't
at
work.
the thump.
That didn't work.
Do you still have the channel up? Are the videos still there?
Oh yeah, they're there. You can watch them, but you'd be one
You're
of
not gonna
very
take
few
them
people
down
who
or
ever
what?
have. Sammy watched them.
Yeah, I watched them too. That's why I make fun
Yes,
of 'em.
watched them. Yeah, no, just not many.
I didn't leave any
Maybe two
comments,
of
so
you.
I didn't want anybody to know I watched your videos.
No, my sister makes a snarky comment. I'm like, doesn't matter. No one's watching. Doesn't
Well, it's because she has a successful YouTube channel that she doesn't post to.
I don't understand her. So she says to me, "Oh, what are some other ways to make some money?" I'm like, "You have a YouTube channel that is making you money with very little effort on your part." I said, "You bang together a video, put it out, people watch it, you get subscribers really fast."
I told you should hire your sister to help you.
That's another thing.
Where are you at on subscribers now?
82, 86.
Oh, you're pushing 10 grand.
Yeah.
Ed recently hit 10 grand. I think Midwest Tool Review too, man. You're right up there with those guys.
I like to keep mine low key, you know. The less people that know about it, the better.
Is that? I mean, I don't want to set the world on fire here, do I?
Yeah.
I haven't
Well,
uploaded
I looked at a stat. It's been almost a year since I posted a video, so I was like, oh, maybe that's why it's not.
I haven't posted anything to my channel in like 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, I need to come up with another TTS video. I was gonna do one today on pulling this dash on I was listening to Anthony's video this morning, and I was gonna do it on pulling this dash on this F350, and then I got busy.
It happens, man. When it's
But
hard.
the
when
problem is this, I can't do it during the week. I have to do it on a Saturday or a Sunday when I can control the flow of people that come in and out. Because I'll work, and then people just show up, and then you're just like, oh my gosh, like killing me here. I'm trying to film something, and somebody comes up and starts talking to me, and they're just like, hey, can I ask you a couple questions? I'm like, no, go to the office. I'll be there in a minute. Like, what says like, hey, drop what you're doing, come run across the parking lot, come talk to me because you want to, ask me if you can bring your car in 6 weeks. No. Best channel to see chickens on. Well, by chance, quote.
How far out are you guys right now on work?
So we have like if you schedule work in, it's 3 months, and if you want to drop off and wait, it's 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's about where we are. We have a board that has stuff scheduled out like 5 months out for like big jobs, head gaskets, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
There are things we try to do. If someone comes in for some maintenance and some services, we try to get that stuff knocked out daily, which we probably do, but it's just and we've got 3 guys that are probably in a shop that could probably handle 6 guys. I mean, we probably have enough work for 5 or 6 guys. It's just we don't have 5 or 6 guys.
Yeah, it's just me now. Robert left, so I'm running 4,000 square feet like I stole it.
How long ago did Robert leave?
End of March.
Man,
I think the last day of March was his last day. So, I mean, it's not like I'm not complaining, but man, I would like to have some help. I wouldn't have to look over my shoulder at all the time either.
I'm not complaining, but
it's
I
not
am
gonna,
hiring.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, like if I got somebody young, I could train up, or not but we could train up. That'd be like optimally where I'd want to go. But because the problem is the same 6 guys that have worked at every shop in Dripping Springs are the ones that you would be able to hire. And they're all the guys have been fired from everywhere else for whatever reason. Like, oh, they don't know what they're doing. Oh, they can't show up on time. Oh, they got a drug problem. Oh, like Lindsay knows who these people are.
Yeah.
They all have accounts, back pay, or owe Lindsay money probably.
Most of these guys probably can't even get on the truck. I don't know. When we go backstage, I'm gonna ask him a name and see if he sells to them or not. I'm curious. But I just heard this name for the first time in a while. I'm like, wow. I don't sell that guy anything. You may never get paid.
What's it rhyme with?
It is a dead giveaway. Do you still go to the shop that's just the next shop down from us?
Yes.
Okay. He's the new guy there.
Oh God, run. No.
You know.
No.
Oh.
No. And even because they have a few of them, none of them are worth no.
Oh, nobody. I mean, the only person you would sell to there would be Dewey.
Pretty much. I sold to one other
Or
guy.
Steve.
He just paid it off, but he's not long for the shop. And there's another guy there who I knew him from years ago. He worked at DC Transmissions down the road, and he couldn't. The guy who owned it, Daniel, couldn't get rid of this guy fast enough, and he left owing me a bunch of money. And while he was there, it was always a struggle to get paid. Give me a card, let me keep it on file, run it every week. Oh no, man, I just I'll pay you cash when I see you. No, because what if I don't see you? Well, I'll get you the next week. No, because I know you won't. And one thing led to another, and he didn't make his payments. He got canned. I'm calling him, hey man, can you pay? Well, you don't have a job. I said, fine. I said, return the tools. Right? Give me the tools back, and we're square. And he actually did. He shipped me what tools he had, and I even out his account, and that was it. But I'm not going to go through that with somebody. I'm really not. And he surfaced at this other shop years later now, and I'm looking at him. I know I remember him. I couldn't remember his name. He told me his name. I'm like, oh yeah, that's why. I said, well, he says, well, I just want to buy. He wanted to buy like a $50 item. And I said, what happened last time? I said, you didn't make your payments, and you have to return the tools. I said, so if that happens once, shame on you. I said, but if I put myself in that position, have it happen to me again, shame on me.
Yeah.
Right. I said, so I'll tell you what I can do. I will give you a discount if you want to pay for it all now, or if you want to put money on your account when you get enough money there, then you can buy something if you want to do
What's
that.
that called? The layaway.
Yeah. Or I call them deposit accounts. Just, you guys put money, they can buy whatever you want. As long as you got the money in there, I don't care. And of course he doesn't want to do that because I know he wants to. People want to reserve this potential for ripping you off. I don't want to actually pay for it.
So in the microwave on kill this power. So I think we talked about this before, but I've it only take I only did it with Gabe. Not because I didn't trust anyone else, or did it for some whatever reason. Just say I was making $50 payments, and I went in, got on the truck on a Wednesday, and I tell his wife, I'm here, and here's $50. Yeah. And she's like, oh, you only owe us 22 or whatever. I'm like, just put it all there. She's like, oh, were you sure? And then she asked Gabe, and he's like, yeah, go ahead, you'll have a credit. And then I continued doing $50 a week for a while when I really didn't need anything. And then I remember I forget what I bought, but it was something, you know what it was? It was a set of ratcheting wrenches of SAE ratcheting wrenches that were similar to the ones that Matco sells, but they weren't spline drive. They were actually 12-point.
Yeah.
And they were expensive. I was like, man, it's kind of expensive. I was thinking about it, and then Gabe's like, well, you got a credit. I said, oh, that's right, huh? And I think I had to pay like $40 out of my pocket. I'm like, dude, that's good. That's perfect.
It's nice when guys do that, though. It's rare. But I would prefer that. But I'll do that. It's funny. People don't want to buy tools that way, but lots of guys want to buy guns that way. So I will set up deposit accounts for guns all the time. Happens regularly.
They don't want to buy tools that way. They don't realize that you're selling tools that way. You're selling them a fully paid for tool on the agreement that they're going to pay you weekly.
Yeah. Some guys are just funny like that. Oh, Sammy says it might be time for Starlink. Cass, get on
the tinfoil helmet. I think we'll start wearing a tinfoil hat. Maybe like a boost.
That might. Hey, for every roll of tinfoil you buy, you get free hats in the box.
I take a whole roll of tinfoil to make a hat for my head.
Brian, I have not noticed more cards getting declined lately. It seems like the same amount. there's always a few every week.
Is that like when they hand it to you, or when you run it for their weekly payment?
Every week I can count on one or two guys' cards not going through when I run them on their weekly payments. And then I got to text them, "Hey man, card didn't go through." "Oh yeah, try it next week." That kind of thing happens all the time.
We double up next week.
It's funny how they want to skip a week and then not double up for the following week. But I just had that conversation with a guy today. "Hey man, card didn't go through. Oh, can we do double next week?" "Yeah, we will. I'll schedule it." But
Yeah, that's bullshit.
I told you about how I won that Matco bump box, didn't I?
Yeah.
It's because, Cass, have you heard this one?
Yeah.
It's doesn't make sense how someone would have to run that kind of promotion just to get someone to pay the following week because he wasn't going to be there. I mean, this promotion was only for his Thursday and Friday customers because they were the Thanksgiving weekend. He wasn't going to see them. So you make a payment or schedule a payment for the following week, and you get raffle tickets for that bump box. And I looked in that little container, and it seemed like there was 10 or 12 in there. I'm like, are you kidding me? That's all. I'm like, all your customers that have accounts, only 10 or 12 of them are going to do this. And then there was another note on there saying, like, if you made $100 payment, you got like 15 tickets or something like that. So I said, all right, dude, here, take $100. So I had more tickets with my name than whatever anybody else had. I was the last stop of his week, so I knew more tickets were not going to go in there. And the next Friday, he came walking in with the bump box for me. I was like, all right, cool. Well, not the next Friday, but 2 weeks later. And I saw him walking in with the bump box. I was like, oh, heck yeah, that's awesome.
I've tried doing some promotion.
I like it. You still have it, right? It's in your garage, isn't it?
It was. I've got really, I don't know why. I sold it to my buddy for like $100. I know it's worth a lot more, but he kept bugging me to sell it to him, and I'd used it for a little bit, and it just sat there and sat there and sat there, and I never even thought about it. Whenever I'm not the guy that goes out and needs like a ghetto blaster or anything like that. I've always got my one of my little DeWalt speakers going or something like that. I even have a Matco bump box, my little mini one. I never think to use that big one, and I think I sold it to him for like $100 or $150. I told him, I did Lindsay's thing. That's what I did. I told him whatever. He kept telling me to that's exactly what I did. He kept telling me to sell it to him, and I said, how much? He said, how much you want for it? I said, well, come on, give me a price. He said, come on. I said, finally, I'm like, all right, dude, tell you what, you give me a price. Whatever you say, I will give it to you, whether it's way high or way low. But that'll depend whether we ever go to lunch again, whether we ever hang out again, or whatever it is. And I think he said like $100, $150, which was cheap because I think I looked them up and they went for like $350. But I was like, I wasn't.
The last time Lindsay did this with me, I fuck him. I still haven't paid for a camera. I'm still testing it out. I'm not sold on it yet.
You were just using it the other day when I walked in.
I will say I haven't talked to that guy
since
the last day at the shop in Redlands when I left it. So it's been almost a year. So maybe I haven't reached out at all. So maybe I was a little bit upset about the price he offered me.
Yeah. No, it happens.
It does.
Sorry, Lindsay. Thanks for inviting me on. I gotta go. No, I'm kidding. Oh man. Dang. Someone hacking up a lung. Where, Chaka?
It's
I didn't
Matthew.
hear you coughing. Oh, okay.
Were you coughing?
There he goes.
He's been coughing for a while. He always says he's okay and doesn't want to go to the doctor. Even last week in the game, he did okay because every 5 minutes he was subbing in and out. But at practice, he's like, I got to go to the hospital. But by the time we were ready to go, he's like, oh, I feel better. Finally, he went to the doctor on Thursday. His mom took him Thursday, and he's got bronchitis, and they gave him amoxicillin.
Y'all have a lot of like pollen and stuff there?
He had allergies when he was a kid. Well, he was a kid, but when he was like way younger. But they haven't really been an issue. But this is how he used to sound when they used to affect him. what do you call those? I forget the name of the steroid that you put in the little. It creates like a vape that you kind of put their mouth on. He used to.
Albuterol.
Yes, he used to take that. I never remember it helping, but
That's what I had to do that whenever I had COVID. When I was recovering from COVID, that was my go-to.
albuterol.
I had to do I had to because I was not making it. So
It's amazing what a steroid can do. A few years back, I don't know exactly what was wrong with me, but it was something in my ear, and it hurt all the way down to my jaw. It got to the point where I couldn't swallow, and I saw the doctor, and whatever antibiotic he gave me a couple of days later wasn't working. So I did a phone appointment with the doctor, and I was like, "This just is not working." So he prescribed the steroid, and I went to the pharmacy and picked it up, and it was an oral steroid. And I'm like, "How long is this good for?" And he said, "Oh, this will be good for 5 days." I'm like, "All right." And then the pill said, "Take 2 pills every morning," or something. Or, anyways, the whole thing that he gave me, I think I took all 4 or 5 pills correctly at one time. I took all 4 or 5 pills, but I don't know if it was supposed to be like that daily. But he only gave me what I interpreted as a day's dose. And about 6, 8 hours later, I started feeling better. The whole next day, I felt like I wasn't sick at all. I felt fantastic. It opened up my throat, my ear. I could hear, no problems. But then, like, the next 3 or 4 days were the worst I ever had in my life. It was bad. Spit it out, dude.
Well, guys, we hit the 2.5 hour mark, and I notice our viewership has been dropping off a bit. So
that's all right. My eyes are dropping too.
We'll call it for the night.
Sounds good, man. Thanks for having me.
No, thanks for jumping on. Everybody in the chat, I'm very grateful that you participated. Great to see everyone. Haven't seen some guys in a long time, and we see some new folks that we haven't seen before. So, Shannon, in particular, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. I appreciate that. And we will be scheduling another live stream. We're doing about every month, and maybe next time we'll be joined by some additional folks. We'll see what shakes out. But if you have questions, if you have any topic suggestions, you could even shoot them out in the next chat that we have when we do this, or you can leave them on any of the videos that I post. Let me know what you're thinking, because it's always great to be able to gear this toward what you guys want. So
I got an idea, because Jude and I have both worked in shops for a long time. And Lindsay, what you should do is you should go and ask us a question. But what you do is take a hat, you write down the questions on a piece of paper, stick it in the hat, spin it around, and then you just pull it out, ask us the question, and we'll tell you the corresponding story. But I promise you, we both have stories.
Oh, I guarantee that. That would be fun. Yeah, we'll do that.
I mean, you could do like problem customers, problem employers.
And I'll bet you the chat will be live, because they'll be telling their stories in the chat as well.
That would be a lively chat.
I was thinking about this earlier. I was like, you wanted to just randomly ask us questions, because I guarantee you could ask the same question. We're going to have 2 different stories, but they're both going to be horrible.
That's a great idea.
Cars, I mean, you just like, Jude knows what I'm talking about. When you work on cars, you draw like sometimes the worst people on earth come and seek you out.
Mm.
You're just like, nobody else would put up with your shit except for a guy that would work on your car.
That is a great idea. Yeah, we'll do that. So that'll be our.
Would you agree, Jude?
Yes, absolutely, 100%.
It's not just me. I'm like, oh.
And customers, employers. I mean, techs. They're. We'll both have stories about all of them.
Oh yeah. I mean, we don't have to talk about the car problems. I mean, like.
Yeah, that sounds like fun. We'll do that.
Yeah, we'll do that. But you just got to put them in randomly. That way we just sit there.
Right.
And then I guarantee you it's not one story. I promise Jude has a ton of stories.
Hey, and anyone still in the chat, if you have a question you want Lindsay to throw in the hat, Sunday morning after you watch Lindsay's video, put that comment in the video, and then Lindsay will throw that question into the hat.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a great way to do it.
I like it. Way to go, Jude.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah, so we'll,
Way
we'll
to
plan
line
on
it
doing
up.
another one in a month or so, and
Yeah.
and we'll put together some questions between now and then. That'll be a good time. All right, let's go around the horn. Jude.
Oh, good night, everyone. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it. I saw we had a bunch of people watching. I don't know what the number is now, but we appreciate everything. Shannon Dickinson, that it's awesome when we contribute to live streams. That's really cool of you. Everyone have a good night, and we'll see you in about a month.
Gas.
Thanks for watching. Sorry I was late.
You're good. Appreciate everyone being on tonight. The chat was fun. It's great to see some old names and some new guys too. So, Sammy, I just saw your suggestion of we need to talk about electric vehicles and how awesome they are. You have a unique perspective too in the transit industry, so it'll be fun to get you in on that and get your take on some things. So yeah, we'll do that. It'll be a good time. Thank you all so much for joining in and watching. I appreciate that. New videos are going up Sunday morning at 10 a.m. So check those out if you would. And we will see you all on the next live stream in about a month or so.